their early games being great, getting leads and struggling to convert, but we did see in Madrid when pressure was high that they did deliver. So I am hopeful that today at least is again one of those good days for GX.
You want to say something?
I mean, the thing is, you talk about tenseness, but when Fnatic start to get in tense situations,
I mean, history doesn't really favor them right now. Let's just say that.
It's true. Just a quick reminder before I forget, next week there will be no LEC. We're all getting ready and heading to Madrid. I think maybe Karzi booked the flights there. It's gonna
long flights.
Go around the world. We'll be our next show will be on Friday, the 26th, and that is where we will see Fnatic or GX up versus KC. For Fnatic, it would be kind of insane. I feel like there's a lot of discourse around Fnatic. Like the fans have not been happy for a while, I feel like, because of the pedigree that they're living up to as Fnatic. But in terms of Worlds, Jack, they haven't missed Worlds as an organization since 2016. They made 11 out of 13.
Yeah, for me, I'm conflicted when it comes to the Fnatic fans, because I get that it sucks to lose over and over again to G2. At the same time, though, most of the teams would love to be in the position that Fnatic is, to be consistently a top team in our league, usually top 2, top 3, and one of the best teams.
That's also true. Glass half full, Finn.
And walk a day in the shoes of a Rogue fan, and then tell me how it is.
No, thank you. For Fnatic, there's also, of course, Oscar and Razork who could make it to Spain, which is really, really big. And then for GX, I feel like I'm left wanting, because all I've been hearing this whole year, Odo, is they're so good, guys. Believe us. Our scrims are absolutely insane. The algorithm gave us the best. The algorithm gave us the best mid laner ever. No, they didn't say that. But I mean, come on, there's so much promise. But this is really it,
There is a lot in this, and everyone's bashing on the fact that there are scrim gods, but even, like a broken clock is right at some point, right?
Twice a day.
Twice a day, yeah, I guess that's how it went. And I'm especially looking at, Noah and June, because there's such a big grudge for them, because when you think about Noah and June, when they came into the league, they came into Fnatic, right? And they were always doing, great, and then it was like, the fan pressure and everything. And now they finally have an environment with GX where they have, enough support, they can flourish in their own way and bring GX to the promised land, because it is time, with how much everyone is saying behind the scenes, that it is time for them to be in the top 4.
I think the clock is only broken when the scrim results don't transfer to stage, because normally the best teams in scrims are the best teams. It's more of an anomaly that we see teams do really well in scrims and then do badly on stage. And maybe fans will think, no, but we've heard it before. But that's because if a team loses and they do bad in scrims, do you think they're going to say, oh, we were just really bad in scrims?
Maybe. We hear that often, but then, when they win, that's when they usually say they were bad in scrims. But Finn, is everything about bot lane in this best of 5? On the other side, we have Upset and Mickey, who did not have the best week last week.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, just bring it back to last offseason. Like, Noah and June were scapegoated of Fnatic. They kept the entire top side and they got rid of that bot lane. They clearly saw that bot lane was the issue. This is their chance to show that they were not the problem in that Fnatic roster. Going up against this new bot lane, I feel like it's all going to be about those early games, because Fnatic puts a lot of emphasis on the bot lane early game, send Razork down there a lot. Meanwhile, Noah and June and the entirety of GX is a really good early game team, if not one of the strongest early game teams we have in the league right now. So those first 14 minutes are crucial and paramount to how the rest of the game is going to go.
I think Isma has been growing. I think he also was put in like a difficult positions, I want to say. Oduwamne, do you think he can facilitate that? Like, do you think GX really have a shot here?
Definitely. I think Isma is probably unironically GX's best player, even though, Noah and June are the main power, the driving force. I feel like he is the catalyst of the way GX is getting early game leads, and it's still going to be from bot lane, like Finn mentioned, but it is Isma, though. He will be the person that's going to bring all of these leads to them.
Okay, who predicts what? Jack Spectra.
Giant X, baby. 3-2.
3-2, okay, Finn.
That's a Jack Spectra. I think Fnatic is going to take it 3-1. I think they are the better team.
I'm also on the Fnatic hype train. I do think it's going to be a 3-1.
Okay, we've got 2 Fnatic, 1 GX. I will abstain. I just want fun, and I want 5 games like I always do. Don't let anyone tell you different. But right now, Laura's standing by with Jackies and Poby in the Marriott Bonvoy pregame check-in.
Thank you so much, Shox. It's a clash in the mid lane today, and I'm standing by with Jackies ahead of this one. How are you doing? Because we saw pretty much everything and anything on social media. The humble GX, the GX is going to go to war, clap some kids? Like, yeah, what's the attitude today?
I mean, as BB said yesterday, right? If we are on a good day, we're the best team out of the three, right? As a Big Daddy BB says. So Big Daddy BB is always right.
Okay.
So today we woke up everyone very well. So yeah, we're just gonna show it on the Rift.
Yeah, it's been a thing. Giants XD or Gen GX. Like, we hope it's gonna be Gen GX today.
I hope so
like,
too.
How did you make sure that you were gonna stabilize your gameplay? Because it has been a lot of ups and downs for you guys.
I mean, that's what you will find out on the Rift, right? It's not like we can prepare for it, but yeah, I mean, we just go on the stage and just play our game and hope it works.
You were hoping and looking forward to playing against Poby. What's the reason?
Well, I mean, I see all the hype about the killable Demon King, you know, but yeah, I mean, it's gonna be fun, right? I think I saw him play against almost every mid and he was doing very well. So even from scrims, I think it's a fun matchup because he always fights back kinda. So yeah, it's gonna be an exciting mid matchup. You
were saying, I don't want to give too much, but you guys were having a lot of fun in scrims playing against each other. What was it about?
I mean, there is a lot of pocket picks, I think, going on. So I hope it goes to game 5, honestly, because it's gonna be very fun for me at least. So
I'm so excited. Do you have a message for him?
I mean, just good luck, you know.
All right. Good luck, Jackie. Thank you so much. Good luck on the game today. And yeah, the road doesn't end here because we have Poby now to answer back. Poby, thank you so much for joining me. What do you think of GX as a team?
I think GX bot lane is really strong, but we bot lane is better, and they play well with objectives.
And what do you think of Jackie's? He's looking forward to meet you.
Nothing special, he just good, but I'm confident.
All right, today is really important. A world qualification on the line if you make it to Madrid. What are your thoughts on today's game?
I think really important match today. We should win with good performance to make words.
Do you have a message for GX ahead of the game?
GX, your road ends with me.
Let's go! Shots fired! Poby out here. They're not even strays. They're straight on target as the team's about to get onto stage. Andreko's joined by Namera and Dagda for this best of 5 between GX and Fnatic.
And perhaps the road could end here, but maybe they can learn to off-road. It should be a match which delivers more than I think a lot of people thought earlier in the year. I'm really excited for this.
Yeah, I just feel a little bad for Jackie. He was so respectful. It was like, you know, this guy's pretty good at lane.
This is why, if you're going to do a rap song, Betty just knows this, you always want to go last. Because you always get this, you're going to respond, you're going to drop the hot fire. It never feels as good when you go first. And Jackie is uncharacteristically polite. Poby, I'd say, uncharacteristically spicy there with a little bit of that trash talk, but we'll see if he can back it up. If he can prove that Jackie's is nothing special, or if, well, he's going to live to regret those words, because obviously GX coming off of an insanely dominant 3-0, whereas Fnatic, even though it went 5 games, it was a shaky 5 games, boys, I think it's safe to say.
And that's why we're getting this conversation now. We've heard from BB and Caps yesterday in PGL, for those of you that didn't watch that. BB was saying, look, if GX play their best, all of the teams are good in scrims, but GX are the best of them. We've had a couple of things like that now where people are wondering whether actually, despite GX promising a lot this year, not delivering on much of it, some people are really starting to get hyped for this team.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that is a promising early game as well. Like, so consistently we see this team get leads in the early game. I think Isma has been absolutely fantastic and instrumental to them finding that success, but it kind of gets to the mid game and a little whoopsie here or there, and suddenly it's not looking so delightful for the GX boys.
And that was kind of what worked against them the last time we saw these two teams play. Of course, that was spring playoffs, so it's been quite a while, but there were moments where GX was getting those early games. They were finding those advantages, but ultimately not able to transition a 1 or 2K gold lead into a convincing game win. Only found that single win in the series. We'll see if today is a different story, as we're already almost out of the pants. Mostly things that you would expect coming out. Nico and the Wukong. Wukong kind of standing out to me. I think a little bit more targeted at Isma in terms of his overall comfort.
The One surprising to me as well. I mean, still Jackie's is kind of one of the two people alongside Jojo Pyun who's willing to still bring it out, but now with the Poppy ban, Azir left open, Talia left open, and the Azir taken immediately.
I wonder whether Jackie's thinks about going towards Talia, Orianna, or Annie. I think there are multiple lane matchups which do fine into the Azir, but the danger already is Azir is the textbook mid laner, and if you're going to talk about Poby and the way people talk about this mid laner, if you give him a textbook, he knows every single sentence in it. He's very good at playing towards it. Jackie's has got a task ahead of him.
Jackie's, of course, with Talia, a little bit more potential, perhaps, to impact the rest of the map. And
I evo nas, dragi gledalci, opa, moram mikrofon malo smanjim, sekund.
Look, it's been a little bit one note. Now it's a pretty good note. It's a sick note. They've really figured out the chord, but it really all comes down to upset more often than not. So Poby, not a utility.
Ok, može se vas malo jumpscare-ovo. Ajmo, zovemo Rale, te vidimo šta radi Rale. I da bacimo lagani chill.
Dobar dan, ljudi!
Ili hit Oskara. Gde si, Rale? Veliki pozdrav.
Dobar dan, ljudi! Može stream, kolega!
Ide se. On sve, uvek. Naravno, stiže stream.
Znaš kako ti.
Lagani stream, samo je da podijelim još da smo live.
Ajde, ti deli. Ja ću odmah da kažem da očekujem da bude 3-0 serija i da smo gotovi oko 15 do 8. Iskreno jako me zanima kako će Fnatic da bude, ovo bi trebalo ubedljivo da pobede. Jer Giantsi nisu bili toliki kontenderi, a maltene ni za šta. Jackie i Poby će biti interesantan matchup, mada Azir, Talija, ništa speca realno. Sve u svemu. Ezreal ima prio, što iskreno nismo dugo vidjeli da ima Ezreal prio već ovako rano. Mnogo heroja imalo veći prio i od njega, ali eto, izgleda da se nešto menja u meti. World's Patch će svakako biti pred nama, pa ćemo moći i na Worldsu da vidimo šta će sve biti zanimljivo. Ja mislim da je ovaj sad World's Patch, ali tako što je sad izašao, ili sljedeći, nisam siguran.
Mislim da je čak možda i ovaj, možda neće namerno staviti
jer
sljedeći.
Jer ovaj je izašao, ovaj deluje kao World's Patch, zato što izašli su T1 skinovi i svi ovi pro heroji su dobili nerf ili buff u odnosu na to što im je potrebno. Varus nije dobio nerf, to je zanimljivo.
To je istina. Dobro, pa žele Varusa, to je uvek.
Ali češće su ga nerfovali zapravo nego što su ga buffovali pred Worlds jer se boje da ne bude previše dobar.
Ok, ne da mi Instagram da vas tagujem, tebe i Tunu, Instagram please.
Ne moramo onda. Ne moramo ako ne znam.
Mamo! Tako, sad smo došli sve.
Ne moraš da nas taguješ ako ti ne želiš to.
Rale je preglasan, aj smanjit ćemo Rale.
Ja se izvinjavam duboko četu zato što sam glup. Kabel od mikrofona kad sam putovao na more sam nosio i negdje sam ga izgleda izgubio ili sam ga ostavio ili ne mogu i dalje da ga nađem, ali sam prevrnuo ceo stan i mamu sam pitao da nije kod nje ostao, ali od toga nema ništa, tako da na veliku žalost bit će loš mikrofon Rale u narednom periodu.
Dobro vidi, imamo još 3 dana leca posle ovoga, tako da nije kod je ostalo previše. Malo je bila greška u rasporedu, ne znam si ispratio, ali ja sam je ispravio. Evo sam možda pogledaš, ali...
Sljedeći je petak, subota, nedelja, jel' tako?
19. i 20. ne. To je bilo zapisano da je šta god, sad za vikend, ali nemamo lec ovaj vikend. To je bila greška u komunikaciji.
Ne razumijem.
Pa, kogod je pisao godišnji raspored, nije ga napisao kako treba i pisao je da imamo lec. Ako sad pogledaš godišnji, kažem, ja sam ga ispravio, pa možda vidiš tačnu verziju.
Znači, naredne nedelje nemamo lec. Znači, mi sad 10 dana malo te ne radimo.
Od 16. do 22. nam je slobodno.
Aha, to je 6 dana.
7 dana, da.
Ja sam, permutovo sam da je sad već počeo od slobodan deo, tako je. I čekaj, šta je prvo?
Jemea.
Da, prvi radni dan Jemea, to bi trebalo da je tipa u četvrtak, jel' tako?
Utorak.
Sve su mi pogrešno rekli, nema veze, ok, super, utorak.
Ali vidi, mi dalje ne znamo što se Jemea tiče šta se prenosi, šta se ne prenosi i sve to. To je i dalje misterija.
To ćemo se dogovoriti.
Da, ali kao, mislim, nemamo... Ne znam kad vuku breke, to mene zanima.
Pa šta, vuku u nedelju, verovatno.
Verovatno utorak ujutru.
Dobro, je.
Znajući njih kako funkcioniše.
Da. A javit će nam utorak oko podne.
Pa da, kad dođemo taj dan na posao. Ko igra, evo. A vidjet ćemo brati.
To je onda good news za naredni vikend. Taman da se spremimo i da ja završim diplomski do kraja.
To zvuči kao dobar play.
Da, pa sad sam ga radio ovaj vikend i da ga završim taman narednih nedelju dana, to mi je savršeno.
Posle nama...
Istrenirao danas, dok ne uđem u game.
Da, jaka leđa, jaka leđa, biceps i ono, podlaktica, stomak, klasika, to mora se ubaci.
Nisam ti rekao, inače, zbog ispita, malo ću sad biti solo u džimu, pa ako hoćeš nekad možeš da baneš kod mene ako želiš. Mimo probni, od tipa 300 ili 500 dinara.
Dobro, tako i kod nas.
A možemo, zar nije kad sam ja bio da ne postoji probni kod vas?
Ma imaš probni, ali moraš da kupiš narukvicu koja je 500 kinti. Tako da, samo smo mi možda nekako smuvali da ti, ne znam, nešćam se. Mi smo ti samo uzeli narukvicu ili smo imali, ne mogu setim šta je bilo iskreno.
Znam da ja nisam, ti si platio svakako.
Da, mislim sam ti ja sam uzeo narukvicu jer fore što kao plaća se 500 kinti i kao probni je džabi, ali narukvica se plaća, tako da faktički probni je 500 dinara, samo je drugačije vrdovano.
Dobro, ja imam narukvicu.
Pa da, eto, to je onda... Ali vidit ćemo svako, vidit ćemo kakva je situacija.
Već sam bio u fazonu da ti kažem da sad znaš da u narednih tipa mjesec dana možemo da odemo na koji trening zajedno. Samo ne znam koji ti split radiš. Oskarini 200 gemova.
Opa. Samo mora da odigra dobro za 200 gemova, ali tako?
Mora. Ništa se u životu ne mora, tako? Nismo 100 gemova, pa ovaj game slavi sajna, jel?
Ja ne mogu da verujem što se događa.
I think especially for Isma, I think this guy has really stepped up over the course of summer, and even we saw guys like Jackie's talking about in the podcast with Noah that it was such an important addition to the team and they learned how to play with them.
To samo, sad kad smo ja i kolega završili naš small talk, možemo da analiziramo ovo. Xini Nocturne, regularna jungle meta, mid regularan, topside je potpuno regularan. Malo mi je čudno eto da su Zaja Rakan pikovani ovako rano, ali čini mi se da su htjeli da to bude neka vrsta take-away u Nocturna. S druge strane, Ezreal je malo čudan, ali recimo ako Zaja nema da je Ezreal relativno dobar uz dive comb. Često smo gledali iz Eri jer može da haguje te zidove.
Znaš šta ja namišljam zašto je Ez vratio, to je dobio prio? Zato što je Voltaic postao viable item na njemu. Sad je postao još jači u mid gameu.
Mislim da smo i to pričao na programu da se vidio Voltaic na Ezrealu.
Da, krenuo je da se igra, sad su ljudi kao još više počeli da ga spamuju. I možda zamisliš Eza koji je već powerhouse u mid gameu, da je dobio item koji ga čini još jačim u mid gameu.
A koji si bil da treći?
Treći, da. Muramana, Trinity, to je to.
To je cool, zapravo, to zvuči kao dosta dobar build.
With that trade there, I wonder whether Razork feels like he could walk into bot jungle as well, knowing that his bot lane has the first move.
Isma forced to flash too. This is excellent start from Fnatic.
Isma trying to contest when he'd already got his mid laner pushed out. Now Mickey taking a bit of an aggressive trade here, but still, kind of Isma didn't really have a right to be there. You could see you had to back his Jackies because a good trade coming through from Poby, push on bottom side as well. So Isma burning his flash now in the early stages makes him a little less potent when he comes for these ganks.
Vidit ćemo što će moći da radi. Mislim, Fnatic bi trebao da uradi dosta, ali fore što su Giantsi u stvari imaju giga dobar early game. Tako da me ne bi čudo sva 3 gamea Giantsi dobiju early i onda da Fnatic kasnije vraća game. U sve 3 partije.
Ajde, vidit ćemo. Ja svakako očekujem od Fnatica da vina, mislim sad kako, to je već na njima, ali očekujem da budu ona bolja ekipa u ovoj seriji. Sve u svemu, prvih 5 minuta bez nikakvih preteranih, osim tradovanja supportovih summonera i junglerovog jednog. Jackies dosta agresivno, Pobi ovo flashovao, zanimljivo. Lane, ali sad će svakako da back TP-a, možda se plašio da je neko tu.
Internet mi je zabao na sekund, valjda će brzo se vrati, da.
Ja te čujem.
Mislim da je okej.
Yeah, I mean, nicely done from Jackie's, and again, you're kind of alluding to it. He said in interviews that found it difficult to play against Poby when it came to the laning phase, just because Poby felt like he just had everything down to what was written shall be done. Yeah. But Jackie's found a nice little advantage.
Oh, you're getting a bit cultish there. What shall be written shall be done.
Yes.
I grew up in a Catholic country.
It's the church of Poby now. We've decided. There's one thing we can do for Poby. It's assign other famous Korean players' brandings to him.
There's always room for another denomination.
There we are, and GX, of course, doing what they can to cover here. Razork sticking around, forces Isma to stick around, but Isma happy to just pick up the Gromp. And, well, Fnatic definitely locking Jun on the bottom side of the map. They haven't been able to accrue too many greater advantages, but Drake will be theirs.
Yeah, and just
Da, Drake je njihov, sada je sve regularno.
Fnatic just taking that slight edge in the bot lane 2v2, using that to just get the first move on bot lane. You can see that giving them access to that Dragon Wish, as you just mentioned.
I think the big thing is delaying Noah's first reset, right? Would really like to start stacking the tier early, hope for the 2-item power spike. The full stack on the tier is going to be pretty significantly delayed now at this stage.
It's also the fact that you can't reset and get out of this lane.
Da, to je recimo dobar, ovo što je istakao komentator, vrlo dobar point, da i dalje nije backovao Ezreal i tier mu stiže tek u 7. minutu, već ovo ozbiljnije malo delay. Znamo da Ezreal i sa TP-om backuju nekada i odmah, uzmu agresivan trade, backuju za tier samo i onda TP-uju nazad i healthy su u lane-u. A imaju tier. Ja, vidimo da je sad bukvalno force recallovao, pogledajte Ezreal koji force recalla na lošem wave-u samo da bi kupio tier, Sheen i Longsword.
Dobar interrupter, L breaka shield, pa ti cancela recall odmah. Obično se zaje Rakan igrači recalluju u tako riski pozicije, jer su u fazonu imam shield, neće mi cancela recall. Pa toga Rakan obično započinje. Udri ga Miki, tuci ga sa plaštom. Flipo klipa da ga Ula ne ubije. Male stvari, male stvari. Noa će da cancela ovo. Neće cancela, dobro. Mislim da će da komita, ali...
No, sad, disput Noa bi morao malo više da se gasira.
Around the Herald, right? Excuse me, the Grubs. The next big objective focus. Isma is there too. Now Razork crucially has ticked over to level 6. Doesn't have that first major item completion, but where this first Nocturne ult goes, how it goes, often a very clear indicator for what kind of Nocturne game we're going to see. As Poby, good backstep there, and Fnatic priority position despite the vision setup from GX on the objective.
Ovo Isma komotno bije, cilj je prejak. Mada Razork ima nivo i dobio ovaj smite fight, tako da...
Off of that, a quicker reset to the top side. They've now moved in for Grubs.
So Razork did manage to get the first one, so it's not going to be a full 3 set, but Isma will save the smite until the last one, and it will be a 2-to-1 Grub trade in favor of GX.
Definitely feels pretty good. Good leverage of what was a pretty poor laning situation on the bottom side of the map, but the pressure a lot was able to build in the 1v1. Looks solid as Jun now level 6.
Da, Jun i Noa moraju da paze iskreno. Jako dobro. Jako dobro, bukvalno su imali te ne i mene fintirali kao da žele da back-offuju, a to nije bio slučaj. Vrlo dobro. Baš me zanima ako bude išao taj multi kakav je na 3 itema. Čak i kroz build path sam, sa brutalizerom on je već dosta jak.
Vidjet ćemo koliko će moći da uradi u mid gameu, jer ima puno magic damage, s druge strane Ezreal mrzi magic damage. Razork juri ovo, ne juri. Ok, ništa. Spore partije, juče 50 minuta nešto je trajala jedna partija.
is just going to settle for the chunk out onto Poby. GX playing fearlessly. This game started with them
Mi
getting
smo
so many
radili
summoner spells on the side of
par
Fnatic.
spori gameova.
Anything with that advantage.
Still though, GX I think are playing the map better. The fact that they managed to get that reset 4-0 early, gate upset off of the early Void Grove so then they can pick them up. And they're now controlling how Razork ends up using that ultimate in the early stages.
Idit ćemo.
Even though GX are opening up a massive goal.
Ne sviđa mi se to što je meta malo usporila, baš sam pričao s Maretom, da li misli da je to zbog toga što je takva meta ili su ekipe lošije pa ne znaju kako da zatvore partije i hvataju momentum koliko bi trebale. Ali baš je bilo, šta sam juče video, znači ono je nehumano. Imali smo Koi i G2 i ekipa koja G2 imao Renegtona koji je otišao 0-5 i oni su uspjeli da izgube tu partiju.
G2 je imao Renegtona
koji je 0-5, bio je 0-5 na Renegtonu. Ne mogu setim u što je igrao. U Jorika koji je bio 4-0. Da, Mirvin je izrekao. Da, Mirvin je samo randanovao taj game.
Kakva je situacija sa Worldsom sad? Je li ovo Worlds game ili nije?
Ne, ovo je partija koja je game pred Worlds game. Pobednik ovoga ide na KC, a pobednik toga ide na Worlds.
E sad, kad se Fnatic će verovatno, to je ono što smo ti ja pričali još onda kad smo radili koji Fnatic.
E sad zašto ovo je još relevantno je što onaj ko pobedi ovo ide u Madrid. Jer za 2 nedelje će biti LAN u Madridu za finish. Znači Worlds bitka, Lower Bracket Finals i Grand Finals.
A bukvalno je GG jer znamo kakav koji ima Madrid buff.
To jeste, to će biti interesantno.
Koji ima domaću publiku, to će baš biti insane.
Has to be a bit smarter approaches this.
Also, one of the nerfs to Rumble was that max HP damage, right? So into the tanks, not going to be just as strong as it was, especially with that early Kanik picked up, as you said, Dracos. But Fnatic again, you can already see Oscar in back right away from Lot in that top side. Knew that he might need to TP into this play.
Ovo je Drake, drugi Drake. Čeka sigurno neki moment ovde.
Continue their plays on the bottom side instead, though. Just going to look mid. Semi-global threat of the Nocturne has to be respected.
Da može da se snobola više s ovim Ezrealom ekipa Giantsa.
Oscar in a little bit low. Wasn't sure if they want to try and go for the dive off of that push from Lost.
Mickey. Hey, Jun, rightfully so, didn't expect him to keep walking forward like a psycho. So otherwise, that stun might have connected.
Yeah, and I do. We were just talking about that semi-global. Really want to just highlight this again. This is not actually an error. Jackie's just holding on to his skill.
13 minuta, boš. To je vrlo atipično. A, dobro. Evo, to može bude killova. Ovo ima dobru poziciju baš. Ovo baš ima dobru poziciju. Ovdje neko mora da umre, jel da?
Oscar je samo, opa, dobar flip.
Da. Ovi nije imao poziciju. Bravo, Pobi, dobro, izašao si. Nezgodno.
Huge plays from Giant X. The invade was clutch, and it looked like Fnatic were in a decent spot to cover, but Giant X managing to get the advantage. Jun looking for Mickey once more, has to escape over the wall.
And that is one of the strengths of this composition, right? You have the Talia, you have the Xin. Really easy to make these aggressive plays happen. When the Nocturne's ulting defensively, it doesn't look as good.
Oscar što je letio u melee range zbog sinovog ulta. Skapirao možda malo prekasno koliko je van pozicije zbog toga. I Razor koji se vratio u charge od Sante. Loti i Jackie su baš lepo odigrali. Baš su lepo odigrali Loti i Jackie ovdje, nema šta.
Mislim, Talija, da bi s ovim itemima radila damage, jednostavno mora sve da konektuje. I tu men sad šalje baš big.
Jax now have a slim gold lead. It's good for them.
You gotta feel for Jackie though.
Tako da mu stvarno treba dati kredita za to.
Beefy front line distract them as they walk into the perfect pinch and he can just lay down the CC. They can't dodge it. There's nothing they can do. Having a hell of a time. Didn't know how he was going to fare in the lane. He talked about it himself. Well, it's looking good in and out of the lane as he's now 700 gold up individually. First item completed. It is a bit more of a scaling item. The Sundered Sky as well. This GX comp is starting to look pretty scary.
But this is where we've seen GX have got these leads, and it has been their expertise to get these leads. Now we have to see how their time has grown as we've seen them last, because against BDS, they had a good time controlling themselves in the mid-gaming, funneling these leads into victories.
Sada je mnogo lakše Giantsima da igraju kada znaju da su dobili neku vrstu lida. Vidjet ćemo kad će Nova dobiti neki gold, njemu bi odgovaralo da dobiju neku prednost u odnosu na Zaju da bi što pre spajkovao. Mada kako Zaja bilo da njoj će nešto faliti zbog Navorija, ili LDR ili Infinity. U ovaj tim verovatno pre da će joj faliti Infinity, da će otići LDR treći u Xanter Elzin. Tako da moram da kažem da mislim da postoji ugao u kom mi vidimo Ezreala jačeg od Zaja na ta 3 itema.
Well, they've now brute forced their way into River, but if you can't brute force your way in, the Talia wall can do so much damage to your potential team fight, which is why I think Fnatic kind of need to hold on to this River control as Isma spots out Razork.
Goes in on Razork instantly. Razork probably just dead here. Mickey trying to find
ovo nije zgodno. Mada opet Talija, ali preterao je malo, doduše u Mikiju je, tako da nije strašno. Ma Miki je mrtav. To je 3-0 i ovo može da bude lagar Herald, iskreno, tako da je.
I to im je Shelly. Giantsi, kažem, imaju early game. Early skirmishes su im jako dobri. I onda posle, kažem, malo drugačije to izgleda. Jer oni se uvek izgube u mid to late-u.
And I wish I could tell you that this was the moment where their incredible macro took over and they would dominate, but this is why GX are in this battle for fourth in the first place, is this is where the questions come up. But so far they're giving us a pretty damn good.
Slažemo se s kasterima. To što oni se slažu sa nama, jer mi smo prvi to rekli. Hvala puno.
Molim te, kolega.
Hvala puno, mi smo bolji. Brži, jači, moćni, šta? Ne znam, Soma i 800 za 2 Drake-a i dalje mi nije nešto insane.
A pazi, mislim, Drake-ovi zavisi ko kad želi da close game, mislim da nužno, a Fnatic odgovara da scale-uje, kao 2 Drake-a su im cool, ali ako snowballuju i igrače Giantsa, dobit će oni i bez soula.
It's always going to feel terrible. If you're the proactive TF, the proactive Nocturne, the proactive Talia, that champion feels broken. If you are reacting with that ulti, God, it is useless.
Fnatic are going to get themselves early third dragon here though, and that's not bad for them. We're talking a lot of good things.
Dobar ulti, baš dobar ulti od Noe. Rico cancel na Oscara da uzmu malo i pressure gore i da probaju da uzmu mid. Mada mislim da... A imaju ga, boga mi.
Dostaje mi period kad je on na Real League bio toliko spor da je Ezreal per multiple za vision.
Forced out redemption used as well. Mickey just fast enough to get out of the range of that seismic shove, and GX keeping pressure up, but there's not really a lot on the map to take. 2 minutes till Otacon going to be the big buff, and the one where no matter what team is playing in this league, you start to get a little bit nervous. Because games are won and lost.
It's where games go to die.
Okay. Games are won and lost.
At least not from an entertainment standpoint.
Ovo zvuči kao neka tvoja i moja koncentracija. Što bi ti rekao, 6. game dead ti serije MMA Masters.
Sad ćemo da imamo, mislim, evo da imali imaju damage-a. Trebi su lagani, Jackies nema ult.
Ovo je već nije dobro, zato što ne sme Pobi da dobije killove nadzirom, to je akceleracija heroa koji se hyperscale-uje, to nikad nije pametno.
I don't think they can really do a huge amount when it comes towards like objectives or looking for any more towers apart from this bot side, but at least it's something nice to begin with.
But it might be a domino. It might not be the play which makes everything work out in the end, but now you have that push, a little bit more damage down there. Jackie's a little bit less gold away from him. Can that lead to maybe some setup around the Atacon? Maybe 4 or 5 waves in advance? Maybe it can give Fnatic a little bit more of an edge than they were missing before.
Yeah. Crucially for Jackie's, does have the flash, does have the TP, will have the ulti shortly, and has completed a second item. So, despite a bit of a fumble there on the sideline, hasn't cost too much as of yet. As you highlighted, Alex, look, a little more time, maybe gives Fnatic the edge, maybe some priority on the top side as the vision.
3000 golda je već fine. Delo je bolje.
Ako je Ezreal napravi voltaik, bit ću jako razočaran.
Jelo je. A bit ću i ja, jer sad i mene nahajpao.
I zamisli voltaik mora mana Trinity kad si ahead. Ti šotaš, šta god nema armor, šotaš, bukvalno.
To je zapravo deluje, pogotovo što ti već u tom trenutku sa CDR Bootsom imaš dosta, ako odaš CDR Boots imaš dosta i CDR-a, ma čak i bez CDR Bootsa imaš CDR-a da konstantno jejaš, a znamo da se voltaik brže charge-uje ako su u pitanju dashevi, blinkovi i ostalo. Tako da to sve onako radi dosta solidan posao. Meni to deluje dobro jer generalno u protivničkom timu Nocturne mora da izbuilda armor samo kroz boots, to jest može da izbuilda armor samo kroz boots. S druge strane vidimo Zonju bi ćemo vidjeti i od Rambla i Azira, Zaja mora GA da uzme, tako da to su sve nezgodni i ne toliko efikasni načini da izbuildaš neki mnogo dobar armor, pogotovo ne rano, što je treći item za Ezreala, jako dobra kombinacija, kako su dobro iskombinovali Nocturne.
Ode Noa.
Kraken, nice. Svaka čast, svaka čast, svaka čast. Miki Razor, fenomenal engage, Miki ga je malo slomio na kraju, ali... Ne, resti Atakan, ovo je full rest, samo to je to.
GX thought they were going to be strong enough. They just finished 2 atom spikes basically across the boards and thought, great, this is the moment that we can fight. But watch as Mickey and Razor get this combo off. Mickey flashes into the middle, jumps down to Razor to get the knock up, but Noah gets deleted immediately. And in the backline, Jun tries his best to try and answer, but there's no...
Da, ovo je bio baš nice, posle toga Miki nije obraćao pažnju, malo je slomio tu i onda ga je otuvatio.
Noah there, and this is now where we start to get into a couple of these worries we've had about GX. Okay, your early game's good. What happens in mid game? That's not a great start for them, despite the fact that they had the gold lead. Fnatic might see the opening now to pull back into this game in terms of gold.
Oscar going to look for the backstep. Seismic Shove does not quite hit him.
Razor's built is nearly up.
Nearly up indeed. Should be up in just a few seconds here. Very small red font in the corner. You can see it ticking down.
2000 golda, samo nije toliko dobar lead, mislim nije dovoljan lead. Pogotovo ako će ovako hvatati van pozicije koji ide na Shoji, nažalost. Što je kao tačni build kad je game even, ali on je bio ahead, samo što je sad dropovao lead.
Especially with good push for Fnatic on this mid wave. Lot in a bad spot.
Lot isolated. They are going to get his flash. They're going to turn to Otacon. Of course, this is the luxury of having Soul Point, is you don't need to care about that Cloud Drake.
Okay, so now Fnatic are the ones starting it up. Do GX have a good answer? Last time it was GX starting it and getting punished. Perhaps Fnatic will feel that sting themselves now.
Opet, idemo da vidimo ko trova game na Atakanu, da li GX ili Fnatic vraća ili gubi game do kraja.
Reset coming in for upset, but they're just getting a lead to the side of GX. The wall is there! Oh no!
Okay.
Absolute disaster! They get the Otacon!
Što se dere ovako bre, polako bre čoveč.
Fnatic needed to wait! They needed to wait for GX to start the dragon, but they don't! And GX just sneak it out from underneath their nose, and now they can move over towards the dragon as well.
Okay, dobro, dobro.
Exactly give up the Otacon to set up dragon either.
Razork rooted, locked up. CC now flashing out to safety, trying to make it out. Still standing. Mickey sprinting as fast as he can. The entire team sprinting. My God, Fnatic in a minute have just given up so much of what put them in a favorable position.
Ovo Caster je odradilo ga je na vrištanje.
Baš položen je danas.
Fnatic trči jako brzo. Mislim da nema voku u lolu. Kliknuli se.
What you need to do is kind of wait for GX to pick a side and then try and trade the objective on the opposite one, but by just hard forcing the Otacon...
O'Connor je u pravu. Ovo je bio play Fnatica, da dropaju Atakana da uzmu Soul. Legitiman play.
We're so good about backing up, waiting for those major cooldowns to be used, and then going back in. Fnatic tried to do the same. They backed up too much, got walled off, and got robbed.
Alo.
Bilo bro, stvarno. Biće okej, biće u redu.
Brate, sve u redu, radiš svoj posao, ja potpuno razumijem, mi radimo tvoj posao. Isti posao radimo.
offense.
Allegedly.
Is it theft if you throw your wallet on the ground and leave?
It's either that or charity. You choose which one sounds better.
Yeah, I don't really know. I don't know. We need a cop. first time I said that on this break. It's probably the last, but yeah. Not familiar enough, or a lawyer. Not familiar enough. But Fnatic, well, they've still got Soul as a potential option, and it would be great to have with the Nocturne that much more speed, already a very fast boy, and of course the scaling option of the Xayah, of the Azir. But GX, I'm starting to believe, boys. I'm starting to believe.
And let's just have a look at the map setup now, because typically your vision goes along your line of outer turrets, so that's Fnatic's. But then they've lost all their outer turrets. GX still have all of theirs. They have all of their outer ring of turrets, and now we have Baron available too. X marks the spot there.
So if Fnatic win a fight, there's a bunch of standing gold that they can take. That's what you're trying to say.
However, GX have the better setup for it because their tower's given the vision. So it's
To je istina, bravo, Color je on point.
But it's also like, regardless of kind of the state of the game, GX have just been the better team, and they have the gold lead as well. So if they can find this pick...
Oh my god, Razork is like a ward magnet.
But still, it's GX getting control as they want. They're starting to push people back. Mickey now at half HP means that he'll have to go for the reset. And Giant X know this is their moment now to take vision with the push that Jackie just had on top lane.
And again, outside of Jackie's getting caught once on the side lane, and GX maybe not having enough tools to peel for Noah on that top side, this has essentially been a flawless game from GX, right? They weathered the storm with some early mishaps in bot lane, looked fine, got a bunch of objectives, they conceded drinks. That was really what it felt like the only weak point. But Fnatic is in a position to contest that.
Ja slušam Caster. Nazdravlje.
Ali on ne ide ultajk, ne? Jesi konstatovao to da ja nisam čuo?
Shojin, da, jesam. Pričao sam malo o tome, ali nije strašno.
And now we're in a position where you look at Upset, you look at Poby.
A dobro, koji si rekao onda da je razlog tome?
Zato što mislim da se malo ucavio, mislim da je Voltaik mnogo bolji kada se headali Shojin tačniji build. Imaju previše kolapsa na njemu i ako nema base health ubiće ga od 100 do 0, Voltaik mu neće tu pomoći.
To je bila moja ideja, hvala što si ponovio.
But it's also if you had people to stand in front of you. Like, Oscar Renan doesn't want to really stand there and take the beating from Giant X. Same when you look at Razork, he just got half HP'd by Isma alone. So, for Fnatic to actually get these carries to do damage is just a difficult situation when they're trying to run for the hills. We may get a point in case here, as Razork might be spotted out.
Mid-wave going to be collected. The rest of the team can look to collapse on this, but Razork sees this something up. GX, have they overcommitted here for this one?
Polako. Nocturne.
Realizing they have a man advantage. Mickey now going for the charm. Follow up is there. Isma laying down a nice ulti. Mickey stunned on the
Miki, moraš da paziš igraš šakara.
A perfect flick back from GX. Fnatic. They walk away from this.
Jer on sa rakarom u Xin Talija mora da pazi ipak. Čak i u Real, jer Real možete pula s ultijem. Te stvari teško dodžaš, nisi toliko mobilan koliko si inače mobilan sa rakarom. Jer te oni baš sputavaju u svemu živom.
Fnatic engage everything onto Lot on this bottom side. Poby can't actually be a part of this because he's been zoned off by 2. But you're not getting value from the Rumble ultimate. You're not really getting value where you need. And Giant X just hitting them with their wallets in a lot of these situations.
And this is some of the front line that you were talking about. Even though Jackie's lived in an equalizer, got caught by feathers, there's no other follow-up. They don't have any frontline. Fnatic are eating so much damage just to be in that situation in the first place and really missing that.
Mislim da Noah sad ima i Juntal koliko bi još više radio, ali nema veze. 20 sekundi trik.
Ja sam enjoyer ovakvih buildova, ovo je skroz u redu.
Voltaik sam mislio.
Aha, ja sam mislio da si napravio lapsus, da si rekao Noah, da si mislio na upseta samo.
Obrnuto, da. Jeste lapsus, samo na drugu stranu. Ja sam mislio ono skače u njega, iskreno bio sam pozvonjen je toliko izovan, ali čim je skočio, mislim čim bi skočio, Oskar bi ulto, Razork nije imao ult da follow upuje, ko zna, možda imao neki ugao, nije teo da flipa.
Giant X are able to like crack open the base, this is going to be worth this, but if they are only able to get through the tier 2s, I think it's an okay trade for Fnatic. Getting the soul is really nice for them, especially when you look at people like Razork who can get full value from it.
Razork, still flicked.
Begaj, ništa.
Isn't going to give it the time. That's a 50-second death timer, Rob. I think they might be breaking the bait.
Yeah, they might be onto something here.
Yeah, because, I mean, typically when you have the permanent buff for the temporary one, you got to prove that the temporary buff can get you enough. You're now defending in a 4v5, and that poke that you've been mentioning before from the likes of the Ezreal is now going to make it harder to defend these turrets. They'll likely get this inner one at least.
Yeah, upset. No lifesteal, whatever he's getting from runes. So not a whole lot. Hard to hold on against the poke, but Fnatic doing pretty well to clear thus far. Trying to punish Jackies for potentially overextending. That Rylai slow is merciless. Is Mickey now going to look to follow up? Timing good, angle good, but it's not quite enough. Jackie's taken down. In the meantime, Jack keeping the pressure up.
Timing good, angle good, but it's not enough. Nice.
A Giant X just end up misaligning the wave states there. Jackies gets caught, and there's no real window for them to do much. They get mid-turret, but that was kind of already written off. So Fnatic happy to sack that for a kill on the top side.
Noctur isto mnogo jak s ovim solom.
Možda ti ja napravim jedan shake na sljedećoj pauzi.
Može sad ako ti je.
Ne. Lagano. Više ti informišemo shake-u kao pojavi da sam počeo da je koristim kao dodatne kalorije.
Ne znam što stavljaš u shake, onda kad kažeš shake sad mi više nije protein.
Ne, protein, pa da, protein, mleko, malo mleka, opsene, peanut butter, ali samo jedna kašika, čisto malo za ukus. Ne kašika, nego kašičica. Znači jedna ono mala kašika za ukus.
Znaš koliko ima kalorija ta jedna kašika?
Znam, ima nešto Boga oca, tipa 200, tako?
Tako, da, 180.
Znam da ima dosta, ne znam baš tačno, 180 sad znam,
ali... A prilike, zavisi koliko grama skupuješ s kašikom, ali kapiram da uzimaš kašiku...
Fino ja tu stavim, ima to 200, tako da... Cool mi je, a opsene gotivim što daju tu teksturu lepu, znaš, i onda bude cool.
To je fair.
Znaš, ono dođe mi ko bonus obrok.
Push out where they can and take a bit more bot side vision control from Fnatic.
Sad je pravi tajming, evo recimo za 2 nedelje da odemo na trening je savršen tajming, jer sam ja već ozbiljno ojačao.
Taman kad napravim ja pauzu, pošto ja ću ići van Srbije na nekoliko dana, samo trebam da vidim kad i šta zbog posla, ali vidjet ćemo to još.
Pa meni samo, ja hoću da dođeš do moje teretane da je vidiš malo.
Ali dobra teretana.
Pa meni je dobra, ja je gotivim mnogo, mislim da je cool. I ono što nam je zgodno što nam je blizu posla, razumiješ, i onda možemo samo produžiti da radimo. I je teretana na 15 minuta od posla.
To je cool. Vidiš, se mene tiče, naš imamo onaj dan kad radimo Worlds, pa možda radimo EMEU. Savršeno, na pauzi između dva odemo u teretanu, odradimo trening, vratimo se na EMEU. Alfa kasteri.
Deal, ako bude taj dan, to je dogovor.
Ja sam razmišljao sam da se vratim do moje teretane, ali fora što meni treba 45 minuta, znaš.
Pa ne, pazi, koja je to priča? Imaćemo neki gap, verovatno, tipa 3 sata.
2-3 sata, tako je.
Da, znači odemo, odradimo trening, sednemo na ručak. Ručamo i vratimo se.
Odemo svi zajedno, ali svi zajedno, ne samo ti ja, svi zajedno.
Jeste sad, znaš ti koja će to gužba biti, haos.
Ne, pa šta, dođe Mare s nama i dođe Laki.
Dobro, da, jeste, u stvari nije nas mnogo.
Niko drugi ne bi ni te, možda bi Ljubat, ali ne vjerujem.
Onda možemo da nađemo i neku koja je bukvalno na košuke.
Vidi, što da ne.
Ever closer and closer towards that Elder now. Fnatic have actually put in some good vision towards that bot side. It's just whether they can hold
to zvuči kao giga dobar play, iskreno.
Got Jackies with his ult back up and available instead pushing for a top in a turret.
Ali morat ćemo više stvari. Ja bih volio svaki trening da uradimo ti i ja. A pogotovo noge. Da se šokiraš. Da se šokiraš kad vidiš da ja zapravo imam pravilnu formu u nogu i da se zapravo lomim na nogama.
Može. Uradimo full body jedan.
Ne, možemo upper lower.
Full body uradim. Sve na jedan trening, imamo 2 sata. Onda riknemo.
Ne mogu to mi remeti, možemo upper lower tamo.
Ti remeti, pa ne može bude po tvom, remeti i meni onda, remeti i tebi i meni.
Ja sam mislio da se dogovorimo koji ti split radiš i da radimo, da ugodimo dane jedan drugom. Koji ti sad ti rekao, nešto popolo?
Push pull leg, zapper lower.
Pa da, ja radim popularno, samo 6 out of 8 day split. Tako da u suštini možemo uvek da upadneš ti sa svojim PPL-om, moj PPL.
Ćemo dogovorit ćemo. Sve ćemo se dogovoriti kad dođe vreme. Sad je vreme da...
Vreme je već sad, mislim kao može da bude već naredne nedelje vreme. Svakako, Fnatic i Giants igraju game da je palo 10 kilova za 35 minuta i mislim da mi je jasno zašto smo mi prešli na nešto drugo. Jer ovi momci samo čekaju objektiv da se potuku. Spajkovi su im dobri, po 4 itema svuda si na zaiš, što verovatno pravi Fnaticu najveći problem. Isma igra iz jako zanimljivog ugla koji se meni mnogo dopada. Ovo upset nije smeo da dopusti, ali Razor fenomenalan engage. Fenomenalan engage da... Sjajan kolaps, a Razor je presmuktovao ovo. Što se kolegi Kasteru radi, vrede.
Da.
Kolege Kastera plaćaju ga zlatom, razumiješ? Miki pada, Oskar pec.
Pada. Pobi. Ojo! Ojo, Lot, lepo.
Lot je presmukao ovoj capaj.
Si još što im junovo Azir ulti sa svojim ultom, giga lepo.
This engage on towards upset was beautiful from Lost. Hopping over the wall, flashing in, gets the tap on the W to set up, and the wall was beautiful as well, just to keep them all in check. At least they managed to get no on the backside as Razork does end up moving through, but there's just so much more left on Giant X. The health bar on Lost, providing the access that you need for Jackies to keep poking down Poby and not actually be hit despite how low he is.
And shout out to Isma, that was merciless.
Znači da ima još jedan minimum gore možda.
And then walked him down.
Prelepo.
And you know, given that fight started with about a solid minute and a half of Fnatic being given access to that. Yeah, you can pop off. Pop off King. That was a hell of an important fight for them. But given that was so much of a run-up time for Fnatic around that, I'm very surprised that GX managed to find that engage. When they managed to do so, they have an 8,000 gold lead. They have Elder on all... I think they waited for the respawn. They got on the grand majority of the team anyway, and they'll use that to get towards that Baron.
This should just be a slightly delayed victory lap coming in.
I mean, Poby's on bot sides. They're not even trying. Like, you know, with Elder up for another minute 40, they can play off at least 2 more waves in that time. And then you've still got the Baron to play with afterwards as well. So trying to hold on to this base is just nigh on impossible.
And I am nervous, right?
Yeah.
Because as much as I liked it when Fred again made 4 versions of Victory Lap, it'd be really good for GX in this series if they could close it out in 1, right? Just the original. You've got perfect buff.
Yeah, but Victory Lap 4 is so good.
It does slap. It would not slap.
Jupa, i ja se pitam, ali odgovor nije na vidiku, jer je re-signovao još godinu, 2, mislim, ne znam koliko je još re-signovao.
Oskar. Da. Signovao je im biće ga.
Fnatic really with no front line here. It is so hard to step forward. You can see that single Mystic Shot hits onto Oscar, and then burn as well means he loses about 20% HP, 25 now, and GX walking it in slowly but surely. Mickey the big.
Kolega, nisi spreman.
He hits massive piece of CC.
Zašto?
Nebitno, ajde da završimo game, pa će se poslije shotovati.
Važi.
Means he will get poked out a little bit, but still has access to the GA. Lot stepping up, Poby stepping back, wall placed, ulti from
Razor, kult. A mislim da je ovo bukvalno samo da kupuje vreme. Poby jako lepo pozicioniran. Mora neko gornji wave. Koliko je još Eldera? 15 sekundi, preživjeli su. Preživjeli su dok sljedeći wave dođe. Ovo i dalje, Fnatic ovo i dalje može da klača, da se razumemo. Isto mora da ulta.
Dobar ult od Isma.
Jer Fnatic ima soul.
Redemption snipe.
Redemption.
Naravno da mogu da tanluju na junglera, moraš nekog da ubiješ prvo, šta ćeš da radiš? Znaš da Isma nema flash, nema ulti, ovdje ga apsolutno taneluješ.
Baš jako taneluješ.
Play malo grifa, ali to je okej, to je okej. Imao je Jack Spectre dobar tik, ali malo je rage baitovo. Gdje je bio u fazonu, jedino AD carry koji imaju crit scale trebaju da buildaju crit. Da, to je rekao. Jedino AD carry koji imaju crit scale treba da buildaju crit.
Neka rage blade.
Kao da Zeri krita s W, to znači da treba builda crit. A ignorisat ćemo da pola drugih efekata u gameu skela s kritom, nema veze. Ja izneverovo na streamu, ljudi nisu mogli veruju isto. Ali posle sam čuo da je Jack Spectre, ja sam bio u fazonu, odbijam da verujem da je on to stvarno mislio. I mislio samo rage baituje.
Rage baituje 100%, pa ljudi, to je Jack Spectre.
Really does make the difference, allows them to get that kill, that bit of extra gold, and obviously the delay on the siege, but it's not like Mickey's tanky. It is important to note. He goes in and he probably dies unless everyone is CC'd, and bit of an awkward position to reset as Lot is now pretty unafraid to just walk forward. Everyone on Fnatic's going to get on the right side of that particular wall, but it does mean losing that tier 2.
Znači ovo i dalje progresuje game. Igrači Giantsa, ali Fnatic je preživio ključan deo. I opet ćemo napomenuti, oni outscale-aju. Outscale-aju na svim ključnim laneovima, i na AD carry-u i na midu.
I just remember when Twitter was like leave them all really low health. You know, that was like the big brain, the spreadsheet gamers were out there. Like, leave them low health is just strictly optimal. But yeah, I think GX thought they were going to end the game, and because they were wrong...
We did too! And yet the game goes on!
Here we are.
We're taking notes! We're trying to, we're trying to!
All right, Victory Lap Part 2. Who was it Skepta first? Denzel Kerr, sorry.
Nicholas, yeah. This is some deep lore. I'm not ready for this.
The only Victory Lap I remember was...
song and it's good.
The only Victory Lap I remember was the one in Binding of Isaac, where you just do the whole game again. That's the only one I remember. I'm completely without context.
Yeah, it's fine. It's a Fred against song, but I like the Binding.
Oni čekaju oba objektiva, ali tako?
But all of our shared pop culture knowledge to do a pot till the...
I nadaju se će Fanati ići iz baze da ih kontestaju. Jer im je tako lakše završe game. Mada ako uzme Eldar i Barona svejedno trebali bi da mogu završiti s tim.
Still though, like, now that you got Rabadon's death cap complete on towards Obi, like he's full build, now you're full build on upset. This is no longer just as simple as a walk in the park. Like, I still think GX, with the stronger front line, should be able to win these fights, but it's just, it is going to come down to execution now.
It is, and having that lifesteal makes such a difference for upset, because Isma's ability to just win that 1v1 much more difficult.
Ok, jako dobra borba za mid priority, jako dobra borba za mid priority. Ovako, evo ovo neko vam bude recimo dobar primjer šta radite kada ste behind u solo queue. Samo pingujete da se grupujete kad neko ušava top lane wave i 5-manujete middle wave i bukvalno ulazite u njega. Protivnik će čak i da se uplaši ukoliko, kao i ovdje što Giant nisu sigurni baš da mogu tako samo randomni da engageuju. Azir će brzo da cleara ovo gore. Jako dobar engage. Da se force Azirov TP. I sad neko da porta, stop. Evo ga, Talija ide kraj, Talija ide na kraj. Oskar mora da porta u mestu. Evo ga, Oskar porta, dobra kombinacija. Giantsi su luzali ovo. Giantsi su luzali game ovdje.
Lep ulti od Azira.
Ma, Giantsi su samo luzali game
ovdje, oni imaju
midlane wave, ja mislim.
Nemaju.
Imaju jednog miniona, pinguju na njega. I mogu 100%.
Imaju dva, imaju i Canon.
Da, to je cijela poenta, samo ti treba creep, nice. Nice.
Ja ne mogu što su Giantsi izgubili.
Nema šansu.
A pazi, ovdje landaju ili uzimaju Elder Barona, ali mislim da endaju, imaju. Gled damage.
Ma imaju jednog graba. Tankinesa nemaju baš najviše, ali će ovo biti dovoljno jer je previše kasno. Kako su ih obrnuli, svaka čast Fanatiku, bravo momci. Tačno ono što su znali da mogu, ovi su gridovali hard za dive, za kraj, za nešto, da izmisle. Fenomenalan posao, nema šta.
45 minuta da se ovako završi game. Holy tilter.
Nevjerovatno. Svaka čast, nema šta. Ekipa Fanatika je presmurfovala ovo. Oskar će da nam kaže nešto o tome, a nakon toga ćemo ići na pauzu 10 minuta.
What do you have to say? Yeah, I honestly don't know, like, this whole game was completely crazy, like,
I don't know what happened even. Like, we just traded Soul for Nash, then they got... Thank you. Like, when they got Elder and Nash, it was a bit scary, but yeah, we just defended and the magic of friendship, I guess, won the game.
What are we focusing on for game 2?
Maybe not giving Elder, Nash, and the whole map, yeah. Maybe that helps a bit.
All right.
Yeah.
And the power of friendship, Oscar. Thank you so much. I'll let you join your team backstage. Sharks, what do you have?
That was a robbery. Like, no, that was a robbery, no?
What is our region? What is happening?
What do you mean? It was great. It was entertainment. It was peak cinema. I loved it. The finale was honestly chef's kiss.
It was crazy, and we had so much to talk about in terms of like, hey, is Fnatic making the correct decisions here in terms of going for those walk me through it, this game plan that obviously panned out.
Oof. Where do we start, man? I mean, we can talk about an Elder race because somehow Fnatic catches Lot on the midwave. The K'Sante with 1,000,000 armor, 1,000,000 magic resist gets caught, and Fnatic gets somehow an Elder and a game win.
It's crazy. We don't have the replay yet because we were so fast.
Then we can go back to the initial point because I feel like that set up the tone, especially where for the whole game plan that Fnatic seemed to be choosing, or GX rather opted into. So if you can bring it up, it would be great. Where is my little hand?
Where is your little hand?
Let's talk about this, Odo.
All right, break it down.
Okay, so we find ourselves in a position where GX has the goal lead. As you can see, they're up 1.8k gold, and these are honestly before and after pictures, right? So on that side is what happened before and after. And my main criticism, my main thought was, do you really need to do this as GX, where you're ahead, you're 2k gold up? Do you really need to give Fnatic soul points so early in the game when you have the goal lead? Because honestly, Finn, walk me through, what did they even get in return for this?
I think if you ask most pro teams, most people will say no. I think they got caught off guard because they realized a little bit too late that K'Sante did not have his teleport ability. And then they're like, okay, I guess we have Herald, I guess we have K'Sante top, we gotta get something. But they don't realize that Fnatic's actually gonna get soul point here. They're gonna get that win condition from what? You turn 2k gold lead into 3.2k gold lead, and I don't think that's worth.
Yeah, because we saw that perfectly well. It leads up into the whole Atakan shebang where it really feels like as GX, if you're putting your whole eggs in the basket where you want to have a big gold lead, then you need to make sure that on the Atakan, on the 4th Drake, you're especially far ahead to capitalize on that and not give Fnatic, you know, the sole win condition. Because we saw as the game goes on, there's just so much pressure on GX to just make all the correct decisions.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like you have to be so precise. You have to really skip 0 steps, get the Atakan, make sure you're on time for those dragons, and then it can make sense to really give those other dragons for that kind of gold lead. But
to be fair, also, like to GX, right? The Atakan, but Fnatic really lost the plot there. GX get the Atakan. They have a tremendous fight over that Elder, right? Lot plays an insane team fight. So does Isma, but how the hell did they lose this game? If the replay is ready, I'd really like to see it because this is insane.
Yeah, it's a great breakdown if you can get it up, because what happened afterwards, I didn't really think that, you know, GX made any bad plays. So if we can pause it right here, this is just especially important because now they see Azir in the base. Azir is wave clearing, and what GX is saying right now, we need to fight right now. It's 5v4. This is our only advantage to stabilize, to get a lead from this map state.
But here you see the discourse in the GX team, because look where Ezreal is. He's still on the Elder Dragon. He's in the mindset that he wants to start the Elder Dragon, but Isma, June, and Lot all want to defend this mid wave, all want to stop Fnatic from getting it because they see the Azir, but just the discourse here is so clear because you see like GX is not on the same page here.
So if you can roll it out now to see what happens, Lot just goes a bit too deep because he knows that this is the great opportunity, and now Upset is just outplaying him and he's just getting shredded because now everyone from Fnatic is even overextending because they know that they need to get the Lot kill, and by the time Azir gets in, Talia, GX is looking for the only thing they can do, this sort of backdoor play, because they know that this map state is completely lost.
But Fnatic know it as well, and they defend. They go right back, they defend, they kill Jackies, and of course, they're fast boys, so they can just run down the base. It's wow.
I mean, they did not pull a rabbit out of that. They pulled a blue whale out of this hat. I don't know how they got away with that game. that first ARA counts were just constantly messing up those fights. It's a miracle that Fnatic is in this position.
And I really don't feel like there's, you know, any fault to give to GX, because it's not like it's an objectively bad play to give up that third Drake or to opt for this sort of game plan, but then you really need to be very precise on the execution. And we saw that they were quite precise. They got that Akan. I mean, maybe the soul for the Nashor trade was not worth it.
Do you trust GX to be that precise in the mid to late game after what we've seen for this splits?
I mean, listen, with all, you know, the allegations of them being early game Andes and not, you know, converting late game leads, maybe I'm putting that dragon in the bag.
Yeah.
Dragon in the bag. Okay, I do feel if you walk away, GX chose blue side, by the way, for this next game. You know, for Fnatic, I felt like their mental might have been hanging by a thread, because if you lose that game also, that really, really sucks. But now I feel for GX, my God, that is frustrating, because it is one of them. Well, obviously, like, we played those team fights well, and our comp was great, and we, like, but...
If I'm Fnatic, I'm smiling, because I feel like I pulled a little robbery over there. I feel like the draft wasn't really the greatest, but at the same time, you know, massive props to them for making it work with the tools they had, because it wasn't really an easy draft to execute, but at the same time, yeah, it's a shaker for a GX.
Yeah, Fnatic fans are probably watching us saying, first time.
I've seen this many times.
We're so used to it. Well, if these are the types of games that we're going to be getting for the rest of this best of 5, then yeah, I'd like to see all 5 for sure. We'll be right back with game 2.
I pulled out a little caps wave from my repertoire.
Didn't do the...
For good luck. No.
That's good. Look at the rumble there. I'm this first. Look. We can above. Base is flash of something.
Nice, guys! Nice!
What did you reach? I'm mega fast. I'm mega fast.
I think we reach.
Yeah.
Just...
Oh, they're going mid, guys. Full mid, okay?
Base. We need to fight here.
I ulti on the Talia, guys. I need to ulti on him.
Yeah, that's fine. We win here.
Go Xin Zhao.
We kill them, come mid.
I can go more. No fear.
Just...
Enemy will die.
We can end mid probably.
Yeah.
He doesn't like that. Look at him, he's a good boy, but he don't like that.
Maybe we could play some ARAMs or something like that. I mean, this is map, right? New towers, new objectives.
Have a break. Have a Kit Kat. Red Bull gives you wings.
Join the WhatsApp. Join the WhatsApp. Have you joined the WhatsApp? You should join the WhatsApp. Join the WhatsApp.
We're now approaching the final pick, and what a ride it's been.
A moment of hesitation, but we're getting closer to the game changer, and what a legendary journey we've been on.
I mean, there's so many excellent options, but one of them has to be a perfect fit.
Oh, they're about to lock in.
Oh, what a pick! What a way to close things out!
Join Marriott Bonvoy for a chance to claim a free Hextech chest and key. Marriott Bonvoy, a check-in at every checkpoint.
Want to level up beyond the rift? Express like a legend and find your fastest server in one tap. Express in game without ISP throttling. Express and shield yourself from DDoS attacks. Express and choose the VPN trusted by gamers everywhere. Express VPN. Experience gaming the Express way. Fast, stable, competitive. It's time to Express. Scan to start your 14-day free trial. Subscribe to unlock free Hextech chests and keys.
Welcome back to the LEC Summer Playoffs. We just witnessed absolute insanity, and it ended with Fnatic taking the first game of the series. And it throws a lot of spanners into the works of things like narrative, because GX were winning every point of that game until they weren't. And it makes talking about game 2 a bit of an odd puzzle to solve, gentlemen.
Well, it's easy. You just lose everything and then win. I don't like... I think that's...
I do not want to follow that advice, Rob, at all.
It sounds like a Magifelix solo queue game, you know? You just never surrender, hold on until the bitter end, and like respect to the tenacity of Fnatic. But GX have to hope that they can bounce back, right? Because Fnatic, they know they got away with murder. They absolutely know it. GX on their side, you have to rally. Know that you were the better team for 90% of that game. Know that you can close it out. Have to keep that optimism because it's a long series ahead of them.
And I think this becomes now a mental game as well as one on the Rift, because GX, I mean, they smashed through the first series. They are coming through, you know, the lower part of the bracket with the cross-play deciders. So then they haven't had that best of 5 loss yet. But losing a game like that when there's so much on the line, you know, it's potential of a step closer towards Worlds or your year ends here. That's a huge thing. Of course, Fnatic, they lost a best of 5 series to get down here in the first place. There's a lot of tenacity mentally to track.
Fnatic, of course, a team with a history of lower bracket runs. I think it was 2022 summer, I want to say, where they played more games in playoffs than they did in an 18-game regular season.
I mean, even if they win here, it's almost a bang-on repeat of what happened in spring, right? Where they end up facing off against KC. They did end up losing 3-0 to KC in that split, but we'll have to see if maybe they can rewrite history, or if Giant X can try and rewrite history here as we get into game number 2. Annie going to be the final ban, which means Orianna still very, very strong here. Wukong could also be another option if you want to try and focus jungle instead.
Orianna is the easy first pick here, really. It's the best lane dominant mid laner left, and I think that Jackie's had a good game in lane versus Poby in game 1. That wasn't the issue, given all that you said about, you know, playing as Poby in scrims is very, very difficult. On the other side, though, Kai'Sa Wukong immediately locked in. Fnatic going for an aggressive dive style.
Yeah, and I like seeing the Kai'Sa, right? Makes things a lot easier. If we were to see something like that with alongside the Nocturne, you understand what the team is going for. That immediate dive in. But a jungler with a lot of team fight power, not always the most impactful at the early stages of the game. See if Isma wants to try for another aggressive option. A lot of hovers, a lot of debating. I would love something spicy, but it's probably just the pig. It's the pig. Okay, all right. Yeah, it's fair, it's fair, it's pro, it's not solo.
I evo nas nazad.
You got yourself that tank frontliner. Actually, Rob and I were just
Traka nameštena, draft spreman. Tako dajmo da vidimo kakva je situacija i šta se izdogađa ovdje. Kasteri su rekli, Giantsi ne trebaju da budu previše razočarani, realno bili su bolja ekipa, trebali su viniju game.
Da, ali Giantsi treba da budu mega razočarani jer nisu vidjeli iz onog ugla, tako da će Giantsi izgubiti 3-0. Fair, to je okej take skroz. Ako sam vinuo onakvu, vinaću svako. Džabe načine se smore ili ne bre, ljudi. Ne sme da dopusti ekipa u onako bitnom momentu da flopa game. Ono je solo queue finish game-a. Kao probate da splitujete fight pred objektiv, da backdoorujete, ne uspevali završeno game. Evo, nek svako u chatu javi ko je bar jednom izgubio tako game u solo queue. U bilo kom ilo.
To je fair,
Možemo svaki ilo, znači to se dešava od Irona do Challengera.
Big tilter, slažem se.
A nije što je tilter, ja se slažem s tim što si ti rekao potpuno, da oni treba da budu okej sa tim zato što su bili bolja ekipa i to je tačno, ali mislim da to samo ne sme da se događa ni jednoj ekipi. Fnatic je pokazao bolesnu komunikaciju.
No, I could have gotten away with it with you, but not chat. They're ruthless.
That's true. They're taking you down no matter what, brother. But I respect that you're fighting the good fight.
Yeah, I'm curious exactly what the bans here are going to be from Giant X, because as you say, like, I think you could try and focus things like the Ambessa's Nymera, but like even with the Braum, there's still like so much engage. There's the Ambessa that you could try and remove just from the bottom side as well, because although Braum does do well in the lane into it, I think
hoće da bi ovo trebao da bude malo više napadački game. U smislu, realno sa Braumom, sa Sedžu, sa Galijom i Wukongom malo je teže da se ne skrmišaš. Tako da vidjet ćemo.
Trying to peel away from them. And Fnatic, I'm not sure they have 100% enough engage right now to close down long-range backlines. The Sivir, that's an easy ban away.
Sivir, there it is. Scaling option, the movement speed just so good alongside things like the Sejuani and the Braum. Final ban now for the side of GX. It's the luxury of red side. Fnatic can counterpick either way, but what matchup do you not want to see? Do you not want to play?
Sivir ban,
It is Oscar's counterpick.
Yeah, and there's the Alistair that we were just kind of mentioning. I think it's just nice because you still want that kind of CC in the team fights regardless of the individual matchup. Varus, also a strong pick that Ginex could look for here. I still think the range should help you out quite a bit against the all-in potential that Fnatic are looking for. Does well in the lane too, plus the ability to try and lock down some of these team fights where you're all very close after the dive could be good.
Why? Oh, Mickey!
I mean, this champion is
Mickey!
level 1 champions in the game, but oh my god, if you mess up one time, if you get autoed by a Braum once, you are so dead.
And it's really good for the laning phase. Now, if you lock in Corki, your laning phase
Ovo
is
će
a
biti
little bit
turbo
more back
fun.
and forth, so you need to really make sure you land the right hooks at the right time. And I gotta say, you go later into the game, you would wish you had someone who could go in a little bit deeper and actually, you know, stay alive. Pyke is not fantastic at that one. Fnatic, their last pick has to have something which enables this Galio a little bit more. Otherwise, you're locking yourself into quite a lot of early game victories and not much else.
All right, well, we have a pretty dominant topside option coming in here from Lot. Also played this in spring, if I remember correctly. So it did look really good in the 1v1, but I think the tech against Yorick has progressed a lot since we last saw this matchup between these two players.
Yeah, traditionally is Yorick that we've the Shogat that we've seen.
Da, do it.
Šta je na topu? Ovo je to Skarinin, bre, ovo će biti nešto okej, can't lose.
Znaš kako je juče bilo fail flashova? Znaš kako se puta ljudi flashovali u zid, bacili Antonija? Svaki put, znači kad se to dogodilo sam vrištao od smeha. Mislim, većina ko je to radila, ali opet.
Definitely is. This can be really tricky. I think again we're in a situation where
volim svakoga ko pokušava da se bori sa Antonijom. Niko mi i dalje nije u životu pružio toliko zabave kao taj čovek, ali...
They're always willing to just draft simple compositions, and Fnatic, certainly a powerful composition, but similar to last game, feels like it has some clear weaknesses.
Yeah, I think for a huge amount of this game is going to come down to Jun trying to mark Razork. If you can deny Razork access, I think you're less worried about Mickey. I think he's just going to die. You already kind of said it, like he goes in. There's so much CC that can keep him.
Ne znam, ja verujem u Pajka. Ja uvek verujem u Pajka.
Unable to start these fights, you're kind of fishing for like a rogue knock-up with a Shogat, which seems hyper unlikely to land.
Might be a little bit tricky. All eyes again on the early game, and most of those eyes on the bottom side of the map. We got some go Mickey's in the house. He's going to need that support on this Pyke. Kind of definition of a feast or famine. Sword of Champion is here. We are. Game 2. GX looking to fire back, close out in this game 2 in a way that they couldn't quite muster game 1. And we're going to keep our eyes on this level 1 because Pyke does like 5,000 damage by himself. So if just anyone eats a hook and there's anyone else standing nearby, they probably die or at least lose a flash.
Sad jedva čekam. Imao sam skoro baš insane Pyke game. Uzeo sam unofficial pentu, triple pa double i ukrao sam banana sa Q. Imao sam 24 kila. I svi su imali negativan skor i vino sam. Tako da se osjećam mnogo cool i sad jedva čekam da vidim da li će Miki da puluje moj performans ili će da bude gori.
Ja verujem.
Da kažeš, ne može niko da bude dobar kao ti kolega, kakva si to liga mi.
Naravno, on ima bolje sajt, isto radio s randomima u soloke, on će to raditi sa moćima s Karininom.
Tako je.
Mogi 098 je rekao Pyke.
Vidite kako tajna polako prelazi na petlu stranu ljubavi prema Oskaru.
You're reading my mind. That's exactly what I was going to say. One of the problems with the Pyke as the game goes on is that you're not going to have redemption, and also against this team, you're not going to... Legit, you're reading my mind. You're also not going to have...
Ulijana Galio, kakav sliperski matchup i na midu i na topu, znači samo bot da se gleda, lepo je rekao kolega Kasper. Ja ću nekom momentu otići na minut jer će mi stići dostava. Vidio si šta sam naručio.
Sve razumljivo i lagano.
Ide čovjek da spati program.
Mora se pazi, mislim nije toliko nije toliko jednostavan matchup, jer ako baciš jednu agresivno je nestanuješ, onda si u problemu. Prošli game Doskar odiga dobro. Sad Nikola, već mnogo pitaš. Mnogo pitaš.
Duše, late game je Oskar igra dobro. I TP i sve je ispoštao što je trebalo. Mislim, ruku na srce stvarno deluje da je sve bolje i bolje kako napreduje liga. Baš im prvo je. Moraš da priznaš to. Priznaj.
Ne, Oskar je užasan. Legit kad Bibo kaže paycheck stealer misli na Oskara. Samo to želim da kažem. To je ono što moram da kažem zbog chata, jer vidim da chat pomisli da sam ozbiljan što toga tiče. Tako da ne chat, ne. Ja ću zauvek biti hater Oscarina. Da se razumemo, ja ću priznati kada on napravi dobar play. Reći ću, super play. Ali ono, i čovjek ovako ako bode zrno, razumete priču. Tako da, svima se dogodi. Kao što se meni dogodi da izintam, tako se njemu toga napravi dobar play, kapirate.
To se ne za tebe. Ono što redko izinta.
Mora to tako.
Tako se to zvali. Šta se ovdje događa? Brown i Pike, obojice jako dobro spremišuju. Dobar. Dobro, tradali su Summonere malo, Summoner više bacio Noah. To je to. Evo koje sve je cool.
Confident to take the space they needed. Yeah, so a victory in summoner economy for Fnatic blew a lot from the bot lane of No and Jun, despite the fact that the hooks weren't landing very well.
Summoner economy,
now
nice.
You get yourself the push in, now you get No that early back, but she's going to lose a bit of CS to the tower as well. It's not bad for Fnatic. I mean, they would like lots more of this from the Pike, of course. This is a good first step.
Taking the heal away definitely feels good when you get closer to that ultimate as well. No shenanigans to stop the execute from coming through. Good cancel from Jun.
Mislim, ovako bude turbo sport game, Fnatic će imati problema jer Pike baš i ne ide u turbo slow game-ovima.
Da, on u suštini treba da eksplodira posle level 6 i pre level 6, ali najkasnije nakon level 6 želiš da eksplodiraš što više možeš. Ti stvarno moraš da igraš mid game heavy, mada oni imaju dobar način, iskreno. Wukong je lepu mogućnost ima da forsa, svi imaju lepu mogućnost da forsaju.
Yeah. 100% is Poby. He's on Galio duty. Observers keep panning us here. I think they're Galio mains. They just want us to show us what it's like to suffer.
Okay, Miki želi da napravi play.
I just love him as a champion.
True.
Yeah. Like whatever at the kid, his entire persona is just fantastic.
Feels so good.
Yeah.
There's that one combo which is really, really nice, where you get them with the slam, you hit them with two other abilities, and your slam becomes immediately off a cooldown from the passive. You get like the double slam. It's really, really fun. If you
double slam, very nice. The backwards E.
Double slam, okay.
Always good.
Backwards E, yeah.
Begins the true life of a
Humanoid je benchovan, to jest čak nije ni bench koliko je samo dobio otkaz, pošto kao bench...
U futbolu se to kaže tekovan.
Kako?
Tekovan.
Sekovan.
Tekt, kao patk. Znači kada menadžer bude izbačen tako pre vremena ili igrač pre vremena kaže se da je sekt.
Sekt, ok, da, sekovan, ok, ideja, to je izraz koji postoji i van futbala, nego sam čuo nešto drugo, ali, mislim, uglavnom, šta je pointa, da, bench je, niski je na benchu KC-a, humanoid nije na benchu Fnatica, tako da to je bitna stvar, da raščistimo gledalcima svakako. Free agenti, ali pričao sam i sa Maretom malo o tome. Dosta takvih igrača koji su kao dugo bili u lecu imaju veliku odbojnost da igraju na EMEA nivou.
On je baš dugo u lecu već godinama.
Kao baš ne žele da budu EMEA nivo i onda jako često samo završe u penziji. Mada realno malo koji lec igrač koji završio, znaš što je meni interesantno u stvari, što kinda dokazuje koliki su paycheck stealeri neki igrači, mnogo igrača koji završili EMEA nivou nisu ni tu mogli da se snađu onoliko koliko bi mislio se snašao lec igrač. Nije li to interesantno?
Da, razumijem što ću kažeš. Da. Relativno veliki broj lec igrača koji su sišli na MA nivo su vrlo brzo propali.
Da. Jer kao bili su 3. 4. u njihovoj ligi. A ti pomisliš kao, pa da, let's go, on će bude najjači, ne.
Neko svira ispred. Jel si neko?
Izađe na terasu, Rale, recimo.
Aha. Ne, samo gledam da nisam ja loše parkirao greškom, a da sam zaboravio.
Ma ti si god, ti se nikad loše ne parkiraš, mogu da potvrdim.
Dobro da, ti je parkiram jedan pored drugog stalno.
Istina. Ne brini se, ja bi ti ostavio cedulju, a te trola mi stavio mi neki random broj telefone, bi u fazonu nauči se parkiraš. Majmune.
Ne, ortati su mi skoro, kad se parkiraju jedno bezobrazno mjesto kad koristim na kraju. Oni su se vraćali iz kafića, ja sam otišao ranije i stavili su mi gume smo ti izbušili, pa se ti opet parkira i tako. I ja okrenem, a to napisam na cedljici za jam, pa mi igrali jam pre toga, razumeš, ja sam skonto koja. I gume nisu bile bušene.
To je got. To je iskreno je got. Ogi nisam nikog targetovao specifično, većini lec igrača se to dogodilo. Kad kažem većini, bukvalno skoro svaki lec igrač je imao tu sudbinu.
See that? Fnatic really don't want to dive into the Sejuani brawl when they're stuck together. Now Isma's on his own, a little bit easier.
Mislim da je relativno jedini koji konstantno performa, da kažeš performa je limit. Zar ne? Jeste.
On je zapravo, da.
On je svake godine u...
Ne, regionu igra top 4, klikće dugmići.
Da, on je okej.
Sure, mogu da se složim s tobom tome.
I mislim, okej, naravno, Crown i Nemesis kompanija koji zajedno igraju, kao Reckless.
A to tajde kao i ne računa, mislimo, tipa eto ko je propao na MA nivou, a bio je dobar, je recimo Kasing, on nikad nije uspeo da procveta u MA regiji.
Igrao je nešto malo MA Mastera, ali ništa spec nije uradio. Mislim, kažem, većina ljudi...
godine u finalu za X7, jel tako? To su oni Harry.
Tako je, da. Mada ti kad pogledaš generalno i Senkux, i Perks, i...
Da, svi su... I
Jankos, i... ono... Većina igrača su otišli na MA i samo ništa nisu radili na tom nivou. Što mislim da je samo dokaz da ono gap između MA Mastera i Leca je mnogo manje nego što ljudi misle na individualnom nivou.
Na timskom je mnogo veći, možda nego što ljudi percipiraju, ali na individualnom nivou, potpuno ovo što Tajna kaže je tačno, baš ovako kako je rekao.
I zato imaš ekipu kao što je recimo Los Ratones, da uzmeš 3 lec igrača, 2 talentovane igrača i pošto je većina iz leca razumeju kako da na timskom nivou igraju na... ono da budu dovoljno dobri da vine u MA-u, ali isto tako ako bilo koga tih igrača izvadiš, staviš ih u neku drugu ekipu sa rukima koji nisu igrali dovoljno leca, imaće istu sudbinu kao i ostali lec igrači. Mislim, Senkax je otišao u Arapsku ligu, nije mogao se kvalifikuje na MA Master. A čovek igrao lec 7 godina, 5 godina, koliko godina. Što je kao velika stvar. Mislim, nije da nije. Senkax je baš dugo igrao.
Da. On je baš mnogo. Čekaj, kako mu je bio drugi nik?
Neko ime, ja mislim.
Nije se, jel Sertus? Nije Sertus.
Ne,
nije Sertus, čekaj. Ne mogu da se setim.
Chris.
Bravo, Chris. Nije Kres nego Chris.
Tako je, Chris.
Da, Chris i Kresa smo imali, bravo.
Da. On i dalje inače igra. Danas sam saznao.
Stvarno?
Znaš kome je Adi Carey? Devin.
Ja, to je ono što je meni Mare rekao tokom programa kad sam se smejao kako ne znam šta da radim s tom informacijom. Sad mi je rekao da će Devin igrati ML, znači igra sa Chrisom.
Da, i to je Verdant preko UK-a. A znaš što je još meni interesantnije od toga? Da li znaš da će bivši coach Crazy-a Seal biti na Worldsu?
Okej, za koga? Kako mi kažeš tipa za Vijetnam, ono?
Mislim da je Brazil.
Prejako.
Ali dosta insane. Gledao sam roster i vidim kao Seal, čekaj. To je ono... Sea, El, znaš onaj... Sile. Ali ono, eto, imali smo s njim intervju i sve to i sad čovjek je na Worldsu, tako da eto, giga cool. Iskreno.
Maybe we get a replay. It's a cool pike thing.
Still, great escape from upset. Burns the cleanse, doesn't have to burn the flash.
Prejako. Uvijek volim te random spawnove igrače.
So overall, nicely played by upset, but yeah, as you say, a little unfortunate for Mickey in a not quite having.
Losat, one su u Letsu mid-pack ekipa, 5. i 6.
Context, incident što se tiče samo dostave, tako da tu sam brzo.
Sve je lagano. Ali da, 5-6. Koji, KC, Fnatic i G2 su top 4. Tako da bilo gdje ispod top 4 bi mogli da diskutujemo.
Still a lot of members of GiantX trying to position themselves on the bottom side. Isma maybe a little uncertain as to where Razork is, but he's actually on this top side and looking for the dive on towards Loss. Oh, he wasn't spotted by the plant.
Dash through, Lot caught out, no. Quick snack.
So you see GiantX, they actually knew that this was probably a case, but don't end up spotting him on the site ward, and now GiantX.
Oscar trying to get out, Razork spinning through them. Oscar unafraid, but he's just going to get shockwave, and it might cost him his life. He's now forced to flash. I think he should have been happy just walking away. Oscar clearly wasn't. Ball reattached to Isma. Razork retreating. Poby on the way up to try and protect. He also attack. But he's going to walk away from this one. I cannot believe Fnatic all lived.
Yeah, me too, but I think the threat of that Poby Galliwall was what saved them there, because if Isma flashes forward to look for a kill, maybe the shield comes down, he gets knocked up after, and he ends up dying too, but GX, they weren't expecting that dive on top.
Što se desilo, vi se bio tu?
Ništa spec. Osjećao sam vidio da Baki igra NLC, da je bio 6.
To sam ja znao.
To je dosta cool.
Ko mi je on rekao?
Ja nisam znao da je igrao NLC, tako da je to... Cool stuff. Nosi ih Oscar nosi sve. Samo je pitanje koju ekipu nosi, ali to je još... Up for debate, što bi rekli Englezi.
We have for that recently. You know the new Corky skin, which currently Noah is playing? It's the giant chicken thing. We had Jackie Love play, so we had Chicken Jackie. Chicken Jackie.
Can't respect Chicken Jackie.
Dobro, Oscar promaši Q, ali nema vezi, dalje se dobija trade.
I was going to think of another Lot pun, but he walked away, so it no longer feels appropriate. As Oscar and Lot continue to duke it out, and we see a little bit as to why this Cho'Gath is selected into the matchup. Still only a single item for Lot.
And I think particularly now you're 1,000 gold ahead, and Lot lost a wave to turret in that dive there too. This is where the Cho'Gath starts to extend the time where he is controlling the Yorick. The Yorick needs to really hit 2 items. He's not been hitting that on, well, he's not going to hit that anytime soon, now he's this far behind.
But that's the thing, right? Although it has been, top side objectives going to GiantX, Fnatic have actually done a better job of collecting the waves where they need to. It's a 20 CS lead for Upset. He's half a level above his opposition. You've got the lead for Oscar in as well. So in this position, I think Fnatic are kind of happy.
Dobro, sada opet spor, početak gema, 3 kila, 15 minuta. Samo što ovog puta to Fnaticu manje ide u prilog. Ma da, ajde, hyper scale-uju kaj si toga, tako da nije to nešto strašno, ali...
He doesn't. He's the one with the global. If you attack the source of it, can't come to you. Herald used to essentially force him away from turret because it won't exactly be existing that much longer.
No, it won't. Isma mounting up though. Okay, wants to charge. Nothing too fancy as GX happy to have that pressure point open up a bit more on the top side. Jackie's only getting more money under his belt, and shockwaves are going to get pretty scary pretty quickly. It is a very, very beefy front line though this time for Fnatic. They have gone in the exact opposite direction of the previous game. No front line to almost all front line. So let's see if the Blackfire Torch, perhaps a Leandries to follow.
Now Razzle caught up on the spot side here. Doesn't have flash, does have the Warrior Trickster.
Will spin out as Lot continues to chase, lands another Morning Mist. Wants to zone him off. Again, there's not really an objective to play for, but happy to just have the Scuttle Crab and a bit more bot side control.
Yeah, I don't think it'll net them anything in the long run, unless they want to hard commit onto this bottom side. You still don't have Poby being able to play. He's looking for the reset now to potentially cover if GiantX want to look for a dive. But in the grand scheme of things, I think Giant X just happy to make Razork a little bit less threatening for the next minute.
Vidjet ćemo šta će Pike da radi u ovom scenariju gde i dalje nema ni prvi item, čak i mora da ide Mercs, to je jako underwhelming, odlažem u naredni Spike.
It's really hard for Mickey to play because most of the people he hooks don't care. They're just, okay, sure, bro, 200 damage.
Yeah, normally you'd say it's, you know, Pike up to 20 minutes, 25 minutes, but it's a 3-kill game at 17 minutes. That's not really what you want from the Pike. So on one side we've had the Yorick not really have an opportune game. The other side, the Pike has gotten some control, but realistically hasn't snowballed to the level which we normally want from a Pike.
Yeah, I think
Previše je sport game za Mikija, to je sigurno.
Mora da pop-offu u nekom momentu, ajde, sad je level 7, ali kad ti pogledaš... Ono što Kerija radi na Pajku je što on pravi anomaliju od Pajka. Znači on je čovek koji performuje 60 minuta sa Pajkom. On umire od jede magije i dalje hituje sve, konektuje šta treba, to je nevjerovatno. To je način na koji se on ističe od drugih Pajke igrača. Zato imate, to je jedan Pajk skin. Jer čovjek najbolji Pike na svetu, najbolji Renata na svetu i najbolji Bard na svetu. I najbolje sve na svetu.
Nešto interesantno, T1 se nije kvalifikovan Worlds još. Koreja je popunila 3 slota i T1 nije top 3 slota u Koreji.
Da, to sam zapravo vidio. Igraju, čekaj, oni imaju, DFG je prošao, Gen G je prošao i ko je treći?
KT. Ne, čekaj šta. Hanva je prošla.
A Hanva, ne, Hanva.
I to je T1 izgubio od Hanve 3-0.
The fight for Fnatic was huge there. The fact that they're able to pick off so many different members. And although Mickey goes down,
I sad igraju DK i BFX. Clean Raptor, Diabledor, ovi trebali da izgube iskreno. DK... Showmaker vs Faker, borba za Worlds, za zadnji slot Koreje.
To je šteta.
Da. I ovaj... Jo, zaboravio sam sad. Gam ne ide na Worlds. To je huge. Ja mislim. Čekaj, moram da provjerim sad.
Moguće, pa koji je drugi slot, možda nisu prvi slot, ali...
Ček.
Gam nije otišao na Worlds godinama.
Da, Gam ne ide na Worlds, dobro sam rekao, da.
Ko ide, ko je drugi?
Znači, Gam je izgubio od ekipe Team Secret Veil.
To su oni što su već bili jednom nešto isto Veil, samo su drugačije vezali.
I oni su izbacili Gam. I sad imaš CFO, PSG i Team Secret Veil.
Ja, pa oni se tako, pa treba CFO i PSG da idu. Oni imaju 3 slota sad.
Pa da. A Gam je četvrti.
Ne, to je tako šteta.
Da, unlucky za Gam, baš nevjerovatno da ne gledamo Gam na Worldsu, iskreno.
Ahead of what would be a third Drake for Fnatic, although GX not afraid to just walk forward here. They have so much chain CC.
Sad si me smorio, brate, maksimum si me smorio.
Imamo Kjaju Levija, imamo Ares, Artemis, ali nisu menjali roster. A Veil je Hero, Pan, Hidzo, Dyer, Eddie, Taki.
Da, čuveni Taki.
Taki.
Kad te pitaju kaki ti je support i kažeš Taki. To je bio punchline.
To vidiš ti. Biće čudno, ajmo da vidimo.
Razork engage-uje, Pike solidan. Dobar dive. Niki traži, Niki igra lepo sad ovaj ugao.
Razork je odigrao giga lepo, ovaj fight isto.
Ma da, Wukong sam nas.
As well, it's everything for the black and orange.
Fnatic find their way onto the carries and GX can't use, anything to put their backline at a point of safety. Jackies gets tagged and then Upset flies through. Now, Razorgar thought initially, is he going a little bit too early? Is he going a little bit too deep? But he gets the fight started. And
Ovaj fight je bio baš na Razorkovim leđima.
Stand at a safe distance and continue DPSing.
We found the solution. Meatballs. How many meatballs can you throw at them? And the problem in the previous game was this Otacon. Generously gift wrap for GX. We'll see if Fnatic make the same mistake twice, however. Mickey fishing again with the hook. Celestial opposition going to be broken. Oscar keeping the pressure up on the top side, but Razor's positions are shredded.
Upset wasn't even there. It was a very risky one, and Giant X
leashed it again.
They still want to keep going.
Yorick's coming up. He's not here just yet, but Fnatic, yeah, this might turn into a bit of a flip. I smell the burgers.
You know what? Use the Valk. Pull back from Mickey good. Stand aside even
Okay.
better. Otacon picked up by the Cho'Gath. They managed to grab it. The shockwave.
Dobro. Dobro, da, ovo bi trebalo da bude onda game za Fnatic sad.
Imaju previše. Infernal Soul, da.
Morat će se fightaju prerano. Korki je useless i dalje. Oriana s ovim buildom. Nije to neki sad carry potencijal, nenormalan, iskreno.
Free advantage given, but now it's Fnatic's sole point. Otacon taken, 4K in the lead.
But also, you're going to have to take this fight as essentially third item is completed across the board on towards Fnatic. They're already about half an item ahead across the board, and that's where it's really going to get difficult for Giant X.
Kada se ide na AP, ima prostora za to, imaju Wukonga i Pajka za AD carry-a. Mislim za AD carry-a kao za AD carry AD damage.
And in that last engagement, you can see Jun trying to tag Razork, trying to keep him out of that fight, but he just ends up going down himself, and you just aren't tanky enough as the Braum with this redemption build to try and be that solo.
And he's trying to be everywhere, and you kind of have to be in some way. Kai'Sa then just jumps over your shield. Your shield is not stopping the Kai'Sa damage, as we saw in that last fight as well, and Kai'Sa is very, very scary. So Fnatic on the verge of Infernal Soul. It is not like the Cloud Soul in the last game where you can make an argument to say it's useful. Infernal Soul is much more than that. That's kind of game-winning territory with a game like this, especially with the Kai'Sa.
Especially with that Kai'Sa poke, yeah, as you highlighted. For Jun, obviously, usually the big playmaker for this GX lineup, a little bit harder on the Braum. It's Poby and Lot. I don't think Poby feels as good.
Poby mora da bega. Mada i ne mora.
Ja mislim da njega Yorick dobio u extended fightu sigurno, ali dolazi TP, dolazi pojačanje pre, tako da s te strane je okej.
Okej, interruptovan je Arctic Assault, opet još jedan dobar ulti. Upset flash. Paša Niki!
23 seconds till Baron. This objective belongs to Fnatic.
We were saying that Pyke is just not a champion at this point in the game, but Mickey proves us wrong. Slick mechanics.
Ne, daleko od toga, Pyke uvijek može da resetuje. Ste vi rekli, to nismo mi rekli.
No, but the Baron is spawning in 10 seconds.
Man's about to be on both sides of the montage. Nicely done now, Fnatic, as you say, Chimera. Baron immediately taken, and a minute and 15 seconds until that Dragon Soul for themselves as well. That's just such a good engagement from Fnatic.
Oh, it's such a sweet spot because they can reset and go into that setup. And Mickey, he pulls people back, means that, realistically, the Braum is pulled away from the person he wants to go towards. And look at the slide through. Oh, that's disgusting.
Gotta respect it. Some clean movement. Yeah, and now a 2,200 goal lead for the Pyke. He's got enough money for that Unbroke Glaive.
8.500 lida pred Drake-a u 25. minuti. Mislim, Fnatic ovo samo stompa. Korki samo previše mu treba da može da napravi impact na ovaj game. Yorick isto mislim da u splitu ne može da radi dovoljno. Sa Baronom imaju prio.
GX doing what they can to hold on to this area of control, but it is a disgusting lead for Fnatic, and their composition at this stage so easy to play. Again, upset that third completed item.
Koliko će Maidenka moći na topu da uradi sama, nemaju Maidenku za fight uopšte.
Nemam pojma, mislim da je to samo neki pressure za toplim prio, da ne moraju oni da imaju pomoć s toplim rivom. Lepo, još jednom, on je obrisan, apsolutno. Sjajno.
This is an absolute slaughter.
These Cyclones have been destroying GX. As long as he gets 2 people in it, they just can't reform their battle lines and GX fall apart. They're now almost 10,000 gold behind. The Infernal Soul will go over a turret as well. The dominoes fall in favor of Fnatic.
And this is going to be so difficult for Giant next. Game 1 was in your hands. Now game 2, a 10k gold.
Da, oni su ovo izgubili, oni će biti u problemu naredni game. Ovo što priča kolega.
That was looked at as potential underdogs that could upset everything for the top 4 in the LEC. Unfortunately, it just hasn't come together now.
Mislim, Giants su ovdje ušli kao veliki underdog. Jedno što je meni krivo je što voleo bi iskreno da nije Casey Fnatic, nego da se bar Vitality ili Giants ušunjao, da možda razmišljamo kao postoji šansa za neki upset za Worlds. Da se dogodi kao nešto što ne očekujemo. Ovako, Casey Fnatic se bore koji i G2 već idu na Worlds kao... Mada opet, mislim, to je kako je šta. Oni su top 4 ekipe, ima smisla da se biju za prva 3 slota, tako da stvarno ne mogu ne se žalim nešto puno s te strane. Rađe bi da vidim Casey nego Fnatic, moram da priznam. Jer Casey nismo vidjeli na MSI-u, tako? Jeste. Tako da eto, bilo bi ajde cool da vidimo... Pa da opet Oscar na Worldsu mi uvek fan, to volim da gledam, tako da ne znam. Bilo bi cool priča Pobija, došao u Evropu i prvi split ode na Worlds, da, to bi bilo insane.
We're saying, well, you know, it should really be a victory lap for GX, and they couldn't quite close it out. This time for Fnatic, though, I think it is so much easier to just walk up with a front line with the Cho'Gath and the Infernal Soul and just deal with
that. Double scaling hyper carries on the opposite side, right? Like Corki and Orion has pretty good scaling. It's just so reliant on you hitting that shockwave, and also it's a 13,000 gold lead. That's a much bigger number.
It's pretty heavy.
All 4 Drakes on the way to the Soul, like,
and they have 2 Seekers arm guards as well.
A ovo je samo bukvalno waiting room za naredni game.
That shockwave, it's like, who do you even target with this?
It's possible for GX, but it's hard. You can hear the Attack on Titan music playing in the background. It's not enough. There's no 3D maneuver gear there. Nikki looking for the hook, doesn't quite hit as Poby solo pushing. GX going to try to collapse in the mid lane. Isma getting the fight kicked off. Poby locked up again.
Phase rush.
Making sure he's out to safety, and Fnatic are ready to just end the game. Well played by Poby just to walk away from that one. Good thought process from GX to collapse on the member with the global, but Fnatic just don't care.
GX have used so many of their tools now, and they're in disarray.
Hook on the Lot. Lot going to get cut down. Ulti coming out from upset. Jund blocking the road.
To je odmah. Lagano, nice. Nice, i razor, fino, efikasno, sjajno odrađeno, ekipa Fnatica presmurfovala game broj 2, iskreno i sa Pajkom odradili ne toliko veliki posao, ali opet cilj ti je da ovako rano završiš game kad uzmeš Pajka, u tome su uspjeli. Verovatno najveći kredit upsetu i razorku što su lepo igrali taj dive combo i to je to. Za sada ekipa Fnatica 2-0. Vidjet ćemo da li će ovo biti dovoljno da u gameu broj 3 završe seriju. Danci sigurno demoralisani, nema to šta mnogo da se priča. Mi ćemo vjerojatno ići na neki intervju, na pauzu od 12 minuta, jel tako kolega?
Upravo tako, intervju s Mickey X-om između 2 partije, veoma sus, ali nema vez, ajmo intervju.
I guess so. I mean, this guy hates everything I play apparently. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't the cleanest Pike performance, but I did one good play in the Corki in the mid lane. Other than that, could be improved.
That's what matters. Aura points, and you guys won in the end much more clean than the first game was. We're gonna forget about the first game actually. Do you guys believe that you can get a cleaner 3-0 now?
Yeah, looks doable.
Alright, doable. We'll see about this. Mickey, thank you so much. We're gonna take a quick break and we'll be right back after this one for game 3.
League fans, mark your calendars. The LEC Expo is back. On September 27th and 28th, we're taking over Plaza de España in Madrid with 2 full days of free activities celebrating everything League. From cosplay contents and meet and greets with teams and talent to partner activations like Kit Kat's selfie box with Sapporo, Red Bull 2XKO station, and lore-inspired boots. This is the ultimate fan experience. It's not just about watching, it's about living League together. So grab your friends, bring your fandom, and join us at the LEC Expo 2025. Free entry, no ticket needed. Don't miss your chance to be a part of it.
Damn it. Hey, Dragos, you ready for the... Oh, that doesn't look good. Wait, I have a solution, but you have a break. I will be right back. Just wait.
Have a break. Have a Kit Kat.
See? I told you we'd figure it out.
I don't think this counts.
Come on, let's go.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Join the WhatsApp. Join the WhatsApp. Have you joined the WhatsApp? You should join the WhatsApp. Join the WhatsApp.
Well, I guess that's a wrap for today.
Seriously, medic? I thought we were going out for a ride.
Okay, but I'm driving.
need to run though. Can we fight?
I'm on the Gorgi. No flash for Johnny. Gorgi. 1 HP. No flash to Johnny.
I need to base though.
I'm not
Help me, guys, help. Johnny? I think no flash.
No flash.
I'm here.
Look them.
I'm on Ori.
I have ulti soon.
I need help. Hold me.
Yeah. 1 second.
I got the Drake.
Yeah, we can go more. Gorgi is there.
Look at Ori, Oscar. Ori is dead.
Yes. Look here with me.
You have something here? I can follow here. Nice, guys. Good game. One more, okay?
Match point for Fnatic. One more game stands between them and playing versus KC in Madrid. It sounds good, but it doesn't sound that good to GX. I'll tell you that. Seemed pretty composed in the comms, Jack.
Yeah, seemed pretty good. I mean, overall, they made it look kind of easy.
What the hell? What's going on?
I don't know. I mean, compared to that game one especially, right?
Yeah. So let's pull up some. Let's talk about Mickey a little bit. We got to talk to him at the end of that as well. You miss all of the hooks you don't throw, Mickey X. Probably, because this was a man on a mission, turning back the clock a little bit with the Pyke that we know from a lot of years ago, Finn.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about that 2019 GT roster when Mickey was playing Pyke so much, and I like, he had so many moments this game. It was like he's collecting clips for his TikTok montage right now. He has like 3, 4, 5 TikToks completed already now, and I feel like he was just putting on a show. Every single play seemed like he was having a super moment here as well on the Corki. He didn't end up dying here, but damn, that looked good.
Yeah, I mean, just the thick E over the wall to cover so much distance and actually getting the hook charge up while Noah was stunned there. I mean, overall, it was like a tough kind of early game for him. He didn't get the lead that he really wanted. But then in the team fights later on, it really felt like he came online and kind of secured them the win.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. I think the whole team was kind of completely on the same page, whereas that is something that I thought I really wanted to see out of GX, right, Finn? But to be fair, Fnatic just played better than they did in game one as well. What did it come down to from their comp? Because, as said, you don't have the securities, right, in the beginning, because Pyke does need a little bit of time. You know, you need to play your cards well.
I mean, the big difference was, I think, Razork. Just give that man a champion that has some kind of escape, because I feel like when he's on the Nocturne, when you're in the fray, you are in the fray.
Yeah.
Like, you can't get out the Nocturne. That ult is not an escape. But with Wukong, he has that warrior trickster ability where he can just dash out. If he's in a little bit of a pickle, he can get out. And I feel like he's someone that always pushes the limit of how far he can go. And giving a player like that some way to get out if it's a little bit too deep, I think is crucial. And I really liked how he played on this Wukong. Just entire Fnatic just looked so much more coherent than GX did in both game one and game two combined.
They did. So what happened here with GX in this game, Jack?
That's a very good question. I mean, I think you're really seeing the mental toll after that game one.
Yeah.
They just didn't really have the confidence to really punish anywhere, and I don't know, they seem like kind of a mental boom team.
I feel for them a little bit, right? Because you can be in that, you can really easily kind of understand what position they are in terms of the whole year, right? The whole year, your scrims are going amazing. You know that your enemies are singing your praises about your scrims. You believe that you can be better. We have this quote also here from Jackie's. I'm kind of sick of being top 6, top 5 every split because they believe that they are better. And then Finn, it could just end just like that in a whimper.
This is the crucial moment, and this is also the time where you as GX can come together. You are still in the race, you can still make the reverse sweep happen, and I think if you want a long run, this would be a great confidence builder for that run, and it just, everything will culminate in this game 3, I think, because we need to see them fight back. We saw it in game 1, they could contest Fnatic in the early game, but we need to see them as a 5-man be able to contest Fnatic, because in that game 5, what faltered for them was their team cohesion, and that is what we need to see from them.
And for Fnatic, they haven't missed Worlds since 2016. This is an organization, Jack, that's, you know, I know that the players change, but they have to live up to this huge pedigree, you know? That is what the fans always believe, that they're going to be at Worlds, that they're going to be in those finals, that they're going to win those finals, which hasn't happened in a very long time. So at the very least, you want them to be at Worlds.
Yeah, for sure. And I think they're kind of showing in this game too that once the game is a little bit more their pace, that they can easily take control of it and just showing that experience. I mean, the whole roster, right, has so many experienced players. I was all in on the Giant X hype train.
Me too.
But after these last 2 games,
it's derailed.
Yeah, it feels really rough.
It really has. We were talking about the bot lane a lot, saying that this series was going to center a lot around bot. Of course, no series ever completely centers around one thing. But Upset had a great game once again. Mickey really put a stamp on this game, and Noah and Jun on the kind of revenge tour, Finn, they are left lacking a little bit.
Yeah, so far has looked to be the Fnatic show in the bot lane, and I think Upset, even in game 1, when the whole game was kind of falling apart, he was doing such a good job just farming, getting big, setting himself up for success in those late game team fights where he could actually carry the game. This game on the Kai'Sa, he had a little bit more setup from the team, and he actually really fell through that promise that he will carry those fights.
You said the S word.
What did I say?
I just said success.
Success? No.
No,
Stop it right now.
I will stop it right now. Let's head over to our casters and see if Fnatic can bring this home.
Just had to say it.
I don't mind. I'll take 5. I'll take 5. I like a 5-game series, you know, with respect to the Fnatic boys, you know. If it does need to start with success. Someone's like, no.
You got a stern talking
and to be fair,
and no surprise, they're wearing a Fnatic shirt.
It did not start with success for Fnatic. It started with a win, but we will never speak of that game 1 again if we are trying to hype Fnatic up.
I don't
game
know.
3,
I feel like
however,
the internet will continue to speak about that game 1
Probably yes. And that game 1 does give hope to Giants in this game 3. They're on blue side. Again, Fnatic will have the luxury of counterpick, but we'll see what they want to do. I want more engaged for Jun. Braum, I respect it, but this man single-handedly was making the difference back in spring. Isma's now ready and there to back him up, but you need to give him something to do some work with. He can't afford to be an NPC, a supporting character in this whole cast.
Yeah, it is difficult though, because a lot of those champions have been taken away now, right? Or at least we can continue to see them banned. So I am curious where they end up in the grand scheme of things. Either way, though, I think the control needs to go to GX in the early game. Like, you're kind of seeing if they lose control, they aren't in a position where they're able to fight back. They're not able to position themselves on the map in situations to try and find picks or find the plays that we saw them confidently make in game number 1.
We have a game delay on stage. You can probably guess from the picture that you're seeing on screen what the context is. They were swapping headsets. But it's got to fit the ears good, folks. I don't know how much time you spent. You're all gamers, actually. I know exactly how much time you spent. Yeah. If you've ever spent an 8-hour night playing video games with your headset in the wrong position and your ears just feel like death, that's probably what Popey was trying to avoid here.
Or it's
Mickey, on the other hand,
death by bad headset. Jeez.
Yeah, it feels bad, man. Mickey, on the other hand, is turbo chilling.
I mean, he needs to relax after that.
I mean, he's got a lot of confidence in game 3, clearly. I still think
he did use the big X to defeat Giant X.
Wow.
I saw a smile. You smiled very slightly. I won. I'm taking that as a win. It's the small
it's good.
Yeah. As long as you had fun, that's all that
I did.
Yeah. I feel
everything else very secondary.
Yeah,
that's true. It is all about you, Nightmare. Now, no.
Wow.
Head to our second priority, this game 3 draft.
First time casting with you, you're doing this. I'm not sure I'm cut out for this here.
It doesn't go up from here.
It doesn't. After several years, it's a roller coaster. Wait, what do you mean it doesn't go up from here, Rob?
I don't know, man.
Who else is going to catch a stray? That's the question.
I mean, you haven't said anything about Mark today. You've got chance for that still.
That's true. I don't really have much to say about Mark.
You've got time to think.
Yeah, I'm not going to trash talk my 2XKO duo. I need him in top form, top condition, so we can continue to talk smack while being really, truly awful. As we get into game 3 drafts, the ban's not too surprising. Inara obviously remains off the board. Annie, interestingly, coming out, not wanting to give Jackies that utility option, it seems.
I think really that Annie is the lane-dominant mid laner. I think we've seen really a lot of focus on 2 first-pick mid laners in this series so far. With the Annie out, I'm not sure we're in that position anymore because it feels like the top string of mid laners that actually win your lane very easily are gone.
Okay, so we went essentially triple jungle ban into the Scion.
I think Sion's a good pick here. Honestly, at this stage of the game, he provides the front line, he provides CC, he provides engage, and especially he's already like Rel taken away, Rakan taken away. Unless you want to try and high prioritize like the Alistar and those kind of things, you are going to be in a bit of a difficult spot. But
I evo nas nazad. Da se vratimo za potencijalno finalni game. Rise?
Rise doesn't
Sure.
feed fantastically into a Scion, but does give you an awful lot of control on side lanes, and it's kind of the pick in the mid lane that can win you a huge amount of these trades. And
Is the Rise legitimate pick?
on that side lane.
Yeah, and again, game one, Jackie's on the Tulia was able to find that big advantage.
Vidjet ćemo, Mato, vidjet ćemo kakva je situacija. Nakon prvog gejma, bolje nisi gledao šta je Giants bacio. Bukvalno su cijel game vinali, izgubili su jedan fight. Probali su da backdooruju, da endaju game, izgubili su fight, izgubili su backdoor attempt i samo su izgubili partiju cijelu. Znači baš je bilo onako teško kritično.
Sad sa Nautilusom bit će još kritičnije.
Veruš će više da ih prelome.
Pa mislim da kako igra Fanatic sad, Naut Rise, ako dobije još neki pikov tool, u džungli to će biti easy. Tako da, ja se realno hype-am za sve ovo. Sivir je do duše solidna za to. Brown, a ne pravi pikon. Evo kontent da mora Leona. Leona Alistair.
Not so much of a Jun Leona fanboy.
Yeah, no, weirdly, Jun Leona's just got really bad stats over his career. You consider him, you know, a big player of it, but that's just one way. Just look at the red lines and win rate. And I much prefer the Alistair for that.
Alistair je skroz legit, mislim, sve jedno. Optional je.
The final choice is going to be here, presumably just AD, but could prioritize the Jarvan.
So I wasn't sure if they wanted to try and prioritize the Gwen for Oscar in that top side. I think it's a good matchup into the Scion. Also had a fantastic game on the Aurora the other day too, so there was options there, but they're just going to go for the Jarvan against the relatively short range and immobile Sivir. Going to have a good old time with that Cataclysm.
And now I think as GX you probably do need to ban away that Aurora, because Aurora Jarvan is just such a strong combo. Double AP solo laners matters a lot less now that Bloodletter's Curse has been such a big item across the meta as well. Yone banned away from Jackie's is one of his last remaining comfort mid lane picks.
Yeah, taking away the AD option, so giving some respect.
Alma za Razorka, sve što ima high, ne prio, nego high tempo. Za Razorka meni je cool.
Mislim samo treba nešto možda prođe kroz ovaj front. Či neki AD carry, ja gledam što je ostalo. Da može da prođe kroz front. Okej, savršeno. Vidi, ako će nešto proći kroz front, to je ovo.
Okej. Spremni su za to. Vrlo su spremni za to. Vrlo su svi spremni.
Ako će dobiti game, pa jest. Ako će s bilo čim dobiti game, to je sa njegovom Nidali.
Yeah, that's some weird stuff. Oh, we're gonna get start mid. They did this back in previous split as well. Jackie's played a game of this earlier in the year. They could just shift it mid.
Sign mid. Vayne flex pick?
Vayne mid?
Vayne flex pick? What? Poby? Vayne mid? Lock it in, lock it in. Come on.
To je bilo pull.
Come on.
Okay,
I don't care if they're clip farming, this is sick!
Okay, Ambassador's going
Oscar mora da igra Rise ovog puta, mora.
Just get ready to see. What's it coming?
Wait, we gotta wait. We have to see. You have to see. Alex,
Fajno, ovo mora da se zavede.
In 2019, you don't know. Nothing is sacred, anything can go anywhere. Okay, Vayne's
Okay, Vayne's going into the mid. I would imagine it's a San mid. I would imagine that's the case. The Rek'Sai very much likely going top. And the Vayne, because it's so much damage in auto attacks, the Sivir can't really spell shield it. You lose wave control, but you have kill threat against the Sivir.
Yeah. So if we cast our mind back to Season 3, I can hear the voice of Monte Cristo echoing in my head talking about this. And it's just like, you die on side lane instant in this 1v1.
Oh, Piglet hiding in the side lane,
you just get murdered. It is completely unplayable in isolation. That said, front to backs with Vayne are really hard. She is so short range. There's a lot of damage.
Vayne je different bridge što se tiče težine igre i svega.
Pazi, u Alistare je giga dobar pik.
Ja, odličan je pik.
U Sivir nije užasno jer Sivir nema nužno šta da spell shielda. I generalno mislim da je okej, u Siona može njega da šreda i sve to, tako da dobar je pik. Kao legit je dobar pik, ali vidjet ćemo kako će preživjeti, jer ono što ima problem u Sivir meču, svim matchupima je Sivir će samo perma da šava i držat će ispod kule i to je ono što mene malo brine.
Sad ćemo da vidimo da li će im, jer to je dosta zavisi od junglera, da li će on dopustiti da mu ekipa bude šavovana. Permašalovanje je nezgodno ako te jungler malo ignoriš. Ako je on tu da counteruje dive ili da punišuje moment kad se crashuje wave, može bude baš dobro. A pazi, realno na levelu 6 kakav all-in je bio Vayne. On vratno ima Ghost čak. Nema, on ima barijeru, okej.
It's pretty rare to see that Vayne. I'm
Going
really excited for
completely
it.
bananas, okay.
LEC Vayne since 2023 summer. Crown, he played it, he lost, and it's also Upset's only 4th ever pro game of Vayne as well. I believe he's 2 in one other pick, and he's not played it, I believe, since 2021.
Okay. How many people that weren't playing in Season 3 have like more than 2 Vayne games though? Like LPL top laners probably have like the most. Like no one is.
Yeah, because we had this meta around the last MSI where Vayne top was getting really popular.
Smešan je.
Mislim, što je najgore, Turbo Fair take, verovatno LPL top laneri imaju više Vayne gameova nego AD carry.
Really did. But we haven't seen Vayne bot lane a lot. I think we saw one game of it from Weibo's AD carry Lights. He played it like last week. It's really not that common, but it is something which has popped up ever so rarely, I suppose, into the Civ, because again, so little of your damage is skill-based. God, where's the hard? There's so much of it's in the auto attack.
Skittle-based. Skittle-based. We take those.
I'm glad to see Upset again. Like, I think this is the cool part of Fearless, as Mickey decides that he needed to go down. That's you end up with these picks that it is worth spending time for some of these counters.
So continuing to step up, obviously super powerful in these early trades. Lethal tempo as well to extend, and they want to keep that trade going. Mickey get a backstep. Won't bother to proc the passive.
That's a huge
Okay, već agresivno. Oh, huge. S ovim tumblom postanjem big.
Keep the lethal tempo stacks up. They'll fall off now just about, but now they've lost so much HP, they've lost control of the wave.
Mickey making sure not to risk too much there. We'll start to back away. Heal uses up 2, starts to come through. Jun now a threat. That level 1 with just the headbutt, not too concerning.
I was going to say, the wave was pushing away from them, so Giant X just trying to stay in range to hit the level 2, and that immediately gives them a lot of control back. Heal burnt
Mislim, čujem te, da, sad te čujem dobro, samo morate pojačam sa trunku, ali...
Okej.
Okej, reci mi što...
Trebalo bi da me čuš bolje, ali tako?
Tako je, da.
Mislim, kvalitetnije, ne nužno jače.
A reminder that tickets are available, man. Summer finals, not next weekend, the following weekend. And remember that if you're a GX fan, this might not seem like the best time to buy tickets, but you will never have shown greater faith in your team than if you buy those tickets right now. This is the greatest possible faith to ticket purchasing overlap point.
Kako prodaje kasne.
I'm just saying, if you're a Fnatic fan, you want to see, Fnatic Vayne on stage in Madrid. Both, yeah, we're really selling both angles of this.
Upset versus Kaliss potentially, Noah versus Kaliss potentially, a lot to be excited for.
See, very early on, we see the Cull coming in from Upset as well. So he's just saying, all right, matchup's going fine, easy first back. If you've got enough gold for a long sword, you may as well go for a Cull instead if you've got the budget for it. Get yourself towards those powerful items.
Gank angle on the bot side as well here. Razor hasn't been spotted.
Jarvan, obviously, premier early activity jungler. Spell shield won't block
Okej, evo ga Razor, evo ga Jarvan. To je priča. Dobro, no, ajme flash. Dobro, fajn.
Okej su. Mislim, samo žele da Upset dobije vreme, ništa drugo.
Tamo pressure stavljaju, to je to.
Malo mi zvuk žuri ili kasni ili šta god, ali... Moj, to je do njihovog prenosa, tako da nije nešto što ja mogu da fiksam, nažalost. Oni mi šalju sliku i zvuk. Ne mogu da desinkujem pošto je jedan signal, ali dobro.
And this is really nice stuff coming out from Fnatic. You take a mistake or a good
trade. Ovo se će biti žurka kao u late game-u.
And you can start really freezing the other team off the waves. You want to go to the wall.
Monster in it. Razork flag, the drag, nowhere for Noah to go.
To je to, Noah je dead. Ne smije ovo da se dešava. Oskar in god.
A mislim, Oskar je frizovo wave, Noah je otišao na top bez supporta. I šta će da urade nego da ga navotiju. Zato se AD carry ne igra svaki game na top lane-u, što je prela gank.
mind, it's nigh on impossible to actually look for any invades and get value out of this Nidalee. And Razork is now
Ne, samo su dumti.
clear his camps without being any.
Kad svapaš i ostavljaš sve na botu, a Vayne u fazonu, okej. Dobijem free scale, važi. Srećnu lejtu protiv mene. I također ne možeš da kvanišaš. Oskar ovdje ima tunele, izaće. Tako radi, da.
Nema dovoljno damage ovdje game da panišu iz top lanera.
Rek'Sai very hard to remove from lane. We saw it a little bit from Broken Blade earlier in the split. Can't remember if anyone else played it, but we're hearing some whispers of that champion just being really hard to do much. Dive coming in onto Lot.
Keep you down. Level 5 Razork.
Mi kaže ako budu neki problema sa zvukom, ali...
Važi, naravno.
Sad hoće da i do kabela često bude, Lot je out, nije out. Nema veze, da. Upset kill, huge. Kako uvek satisfying kada tumblom prokaš silver boltove.
Fnatic able to grab the kill, able to walk away. Crucially, in the meantime, Noah's getting some much needed time to farm on the top side, but it won't mount to too much.
It's Upset that gets the kill on the other side, so the Vayne has a cull, has a kill. Noah's died on the other side too. Yes, he's picking up some farm, which he missed, but Fnatic, all of these flags are green for them right now. It's looking like a great early game.
Definitely is. Also, Upset getting closer to level 6. Massive spike for the champion, right? Ulti is just a huge steroid. As Oscar playing to his limits there. Respect to the confidence, right? These are the kind of plays that he's made during the regular season that got him caught out, that got him killed, but there, just a massive tempo.
Svo što će pobjeda radi na Raizu, ali ovaj game je već jako dobro počeo za Fnatic s openerom 2 killa. Pobije je živ, nije živ. Ok, evo ga Isma. Double TP, spellbooka.
Just so much damage off that combo in the early stages.
Poby having no flash there, really well capitalized on by GX, and that can't come much later, really. It felt like this early game was once again slipping away from them, something which you highlighted, Rob, is something that GX really need to sort. That early game needs to be solid, because it's felt like in this series, it's been a bit back and forth on that, and very important to how the game's played out.
Upset continuing to feel pretty comfortable when the 1v1 versus
da...
Of course, Vayne, wave clear, atrocious.
Šta će da builda kasnije, nego u kom trenutku će da ode na tanky build?
Mislim da na terminu Drakšu, zar ne? Pa da ovdje ima value možda i za roundu i neki zbog Sivir, svašta to može. No je mrtav opet. A realno ne smije ovo da ti se dogodi.
Noah seconds away from having his flash back up, but Fnatic knew that timer and they punish once more. Giant X are getting nothing in this early stage.
Dva puta panišao Yeti carry na flash timer early game, to je Razorkov specialty.
And even less gold. Hang on, there might be a fight onto this though, backing away.
Isma going in, Razork forced back. Golden Angus to get the slowdown.
Brajte pažnju kako Miki ne proka pasiv nekada kada baci neki riski hook. Zna da će to da ga animation lockuje više nego što će da mu pomogne.
Another spear goes forward. Mickey manages to sidestep, but the Fnatic bot lane will retreat. The cost of Razork's life.
Isma really does not want his year to end here. He's gotten a couple of good kills now, or kills and participation. Stops Fnatic getting the full sweep of those grubs and will be able to claim some for his own team.
Obi's on the way to bot side though, and Lot, half HP, you've got a way to reset Terra aggro. Fnatic want to look for the cross map.
Oscarinen ready for the dive. Lot can see it coming now, but the knockup starting to feel inevitable. Knockup there from Oscarinen, immediate damage fall coming up from Poby. This is one ability, but it doesn't matter because Oscarinen's ulti is there. Another plate likely to fall as well. Early game, so incredibly favored for Fnatic.
Fnatic just doing so well to look for that cross map and keep the tempo up this entire time. It's making it so difficult for Giant X to try and play through this. As Razork goes to play on top side again. Noah's flash.
Evo, napišem moj punish su malo pre.
Fnatic able to get another kill back.
And you can see there's some really dangerous combos you can play around even that. Yes, there was the kill back after. You bring your own wall stun, but the Cataclysm and the Condemned combo wasn't needed there, but watch out for that later into the game. Isma at least able to pick up something amongst this, gets some extra gold, and stops it being a full clean play for Fnatic.
And of course, the Scion has a lot of composition where, you know, this champion can just really feel unkillable. Against the Vayne, it might not be one of them. That said, Noah taking up home in mid lane, doesn't have access to boots, does make the trading pattern a little bit rougher, but once he gets 1-2 items, he should be able to infinitely wave clear. Upset might not have a chance.
Yeah, I think that's the one part where you can try and play for, and oftentimes you've even seen actually Vayne try and go for the static shiv to try and combat that at least a little, but I mean, you do get so much value from the Blade of the Rune King in these fights with the slows onto double melee front line.
Sam rekao ide na bot. Ima situacije da recimo idu na skrati jedan item. Sam u fazonu da li će samo da switcha na defanzivu trunku ranije. Jer kao Botrk, Rageblade, Terminus, Jakšo, onda si dosta kasno tanky.
Okej, John uzima kill. Uvek se svašta nešto, ja se potpuno slažem, svakakve varijacije mogu da budu sa Vayne buildom u smislu kad se šta builda. Vidjet ćemo šta će onda odluči. Ići interesantno svakako.
Grab the chem tech.
That's what you need to do with GiantX though. Make these plays on sides as Obsess. Good spell shield, hook goes wide, and Noah with the fancy feet, making sure the Fnatic can't capitalize on the play.
Big to start to get things back for GX. Again, 1,000 gold lead for the Scion, 400 gold up for Isma as he completes his first item. If they can put those leads to use, they'll feel pretty comfortable. Solid lead for Upset, yes, but no major item completion, and Vayne often can be a tricky champion to get value out of. It's not just as simple as, Jinx, gold lead, win fight.
Ova situacija u gameu koja god deluje solidno sasvim, 1000 golda koje ima Sion je potpuno useless.
Ne radi ništa, mislim problem je što kažem. Pogoci je head na Sion, uvijek ima Vayne koja možete polomi, tako da...
Tako.
Yeah, my biggest problem for GiantX is with the lead Upset has, how do you deal with them? Because it has to be lost that basically gets this public execution into like a
A Isma, mislim sa Nidali, ok, 100% KP, ali kad imaš Nidali draftovanu, ti moraš imati mnogo veći lead kao ekipa od ovoga, to jest ovdje su behind, tako da nemaju lead uopšte, ali poenta stoji, moraju da imaju veći momentum.
So GiantX really have to play these fights excellently to deal with Upset, especially when he hits that two items, both the Blade of the Rune King and that Quincy's Rage Blade. That's where Vayne really pops off.
Definitely can. See what they can do to start to ship the gold back for Noah. Of course, only 9 stacks away from finishing the call on Upset, so that'll be a pretty big surge in gold. Certainly at least a completed Blade of the Rune King, if not more. On the top side, it is the Jackies who's been elected to go up against Oscar, and pretty unplayable matchup for Lot at this stage. And Jackie's, credit to him, is holding his own despite the early MR itemization. Obviously, the plated steel caps do a lot of work against the Rek'Sai.
Oscar's done very well to get himself that lead. Of course, Lot shut down very heavily. I think Oscar's had a pretty solid series overall. The Cho'Gath really sticks out in my mind as one of the, well, quite literally biggest threats in that last game. Right here, we're going to see from this Rek'Sai just infinite wave clear, never able to remove him from a side lane because they bring so much of their own sustain. And that can be something which Fnatic can use to just control one part of the map, because the Rek'Sai, realistically, you're not getting them out of that lane.
No, definitely a
Očigledno da veliki value stavljanja Rek'Sai u ovom gameu. Mislim, meni se dopada kako funkcioniše. Uzo sada.
Poby stronger on the side lane, and that is kind of the one big discrepancy in favor of Fnatic, is that Lot has been shut down so hard that even though they've swapped matchups, he's still suffering against Poby. Will still be this infinite pressure point as GX now potentially look for the collapse. Poby a tough target to collapse on though with the phase rush.
Fnatic are doing a good job of protecting him and kind of reading what GiantX are doing. Opening up Oscar in and now this alone time on the top side. So GiantX overload the bot side hoping for a play. They don't find it, and Fnatic are just winning out because they abandoned that top side.
And for GX again, the pressure to stem the bleeding, to hold on, to collapse on Poby, to not let him overextend, but also not to concede too much on the top side as we see Oscar in it, just trying to burn down this tower.
Oscar!
Oh, that last auto! That feels like a criminal.
He needs to get to the tunnel. He needs to get to the tunnel.
He's got 7 seconds in his ear. It could be a little bit difficult.
Ne mora nokapi, onda proba da se izvuče nazdal. Dobro, i sad ima tunel, ima jedan tunel u drugi tunel, da.
Ovdje. To je mnogo veliki filter, bar meni svaki put da sad bije.
So much mobility, so much survivability, took the ultimate. Even with a great ult under the tower from Jackie's wave clear and force the tower shots onto the Rek'Sai. Can't get the kill done. Oscar makes out like a bandit.
That he does. A Thorn, to be sure, in the side of GX. Although 2,100 gold lead, I don't know if Thorn is sufficient. At 2 items, this guy is going to be a problem for every single person in the game, not just Jackie's.
I da Botrku je Vayne već jača.
Nice use of the blue trinket. Will spot out Jun.
Show nezgodan game.
Wandering into mid lane.
Yeah, so Giant X have a window now where they continue to play on mid wave, and they can now move over towards Rift Herald.
Mi smo iskreno nije uradio toliko.
So then he looks like he can try and TP in. Just got out the Eclipse finished as well. But I think Fnatic's still in a better position if they move in towards this, especially as Poby's just kind of hovering, waiting to see if he needs to be at the Rift Herald or keep pressure on this tier 2.
Like I said, if it does come to a fight, we are at one item apiece, so that will be at least even in terms of fighting stats.
Lot trying to go in, leveraging the power spike that he gets
Olo ti
from
Poby.
his early itemization. Poby respecting it though, will just back off. He doesn't need to make a play. Happy to just keep Lot there for now, as GX really just taking control here on the top side of the map. Going to lock down this Herald. Oscar Renen's on the way. 4v4 on our hands.
Lot managed to cancel the tell.
Oscar ima dobar ugao.
Poby se porta.
Oscar Renen coming in from behind. TP going in from Poby. GX.
Oscar I dalje dosta dobro igra oko svega.
Treba im Vision u tom žbunu apsiti Wifov ult. Giantsi trebaju samo sačekaju da istegnem Vayne ult. I apsiti 5 puta slabiji u sljedećem fightu, to moraju dropaju.
Da.
3 za Drake je.
Full dependent hero.
I think it's a good call from Fnatic. The Vayne damage isn't really there at this early stages. You look towards Poby, he's got a rod of ages that is still stacking. So even just forcing Giant X to commit to this top half of the map with that TP from Lost means they can shift down towards Dragon and trade objectives. Giant X need to get a decent amount of value out of this Rift Herald so that they can spike some gold on their squad and hope that they can fight at these next couple of objectives.
See though, earlier into the year, GX were the dragon stacking team for so much of it. And now in this series, let's think, they got 2 dragons.
Da, ovdje iskreno lepo staka Drakeove I Fnatic. Kao u game 1 su imali solo kad su klačovali.
GX have not focused on these dragons at all in this series, very clearly making a decision strategically to say topside objectives, not touching dragons.
Yeah, in a lot of these situations, bot side has just been losing out on prio, and that is usually all it takes to shut down those early plays. Of course, finding that early success with Jarvan, with Razor.
Baš me zanima kako će Fnatic da... Jer ovaj game je ono u njihovim rukama, što se kaže sa Vayne I Ryzom. Razor, Knaut, Jarvan, Razor, Miki stvarno lepo holduju ovih prvih 15-20 minuta game-a, plaviju pressure, sve kako treba. Samo treba, ono, najvažnije da apsiti Poby odigraju dobro. Ja mislim da realno možemo da kažemo da Nidalee nije odradila posao kakav bi trebalo da odradi u Jarvana u odnosu na ceo game. Mada ajde, njoj je možda malo I teže jer Sion je low prio hero I nezgodno je izboriti prije na mid lane-u. U Ryza sa Sionom, pa je možda kao lakše bilo Jarvanu da igra, I guess. Ali opet Sion lakše rotira.
I slažem se, ali opet to je njihov draft. Kao oni su birali heroje. A ja nekako to vidim da ako Nidalee nema Dark Seal I mora da ide na Liandry da je Ferala kao pik. Budi Lilija. Legitimno budi Lilija. I druga stvar je što, oni su zaboravili zašto Nidalee uopšte draftovala. Ako draftaš Nidalee igraš Tristanu. Jer jedini način da Nidalee bude korisna u Hyperlate-u, pošto je jedino Tristana ostalo od otvornih pikova, može da radi Jinx, Yunara I sve ostalo, jeste da healaš Hyper Carry-a koji te nosi kasnije.
Tako. Da Sivir ima bonus attack speed I heal.
Pauza Chronobreak.
Pauza Chronobreak, šta?
Pa bio je na zemlji kad je Ryze ult otišao off, nije ga portovo, pauza Chronobreak.
Ma ne, ma kakva pauza Chronobreak. To je samo animacija, ja mislim, malo čudno otišla, I guess.
Jackie's is doing such a good job to shadow Lost and get him some resources that he needs. Now with the Rift Herald in mid lane.
Upset, exhausted, trying to zone back. Upset just chasing. Backstep is still good from Upset. It might be enough to turn, but no, it's so cool.
Oj. No. Wow, ovo je ono što je Giantsima trebalo da se ovaj game promeni. Huge.
Oscar in on the hunt. 2,500 gold ahead, but can he get another kill? GX staying just at arm's length.
Huge turnaround for Giant X though. Even with Noah going down, he gets the kill, they get the tower mid, Jackie's is getting the tower bot, and Lot is getting to farm uninterrupted. This is exactly what Giant X needed to keep their hopes alive in this series.
GX now have a 2,000 gold lead.
Ovo je tačno, sad je rekao što je rekao malo pre. Ovo je bio način da se spasi. Ček opet da vidimo što si rekao.
Pa
da, ali mu je interruptovan, samo je otišla na kraj animacija. Kako to zapravo ne treba tako da radi, ja se bunim protiv
Pa
toga.
ne treba, ali njegov ulti nije channeling.
Ne, mislim da treba da može da se cancela, ali mislim da animacija mora da se završi odmah, a ne da animacija ode ovdje do kraja kad se cancela ulti.
Ja mislim da ne treba da može se cancela, mislim da može samo da ga cancelaš tako što ga displaysuješ u trenutku kad treba da se porta. Jer njegov ulti nije channeling. Pa da, ali njegov ulti nije channeling. Šta mu cancelaš kad je njegov ulti instant cast?
Oscar dropa game.
Polako, mislim, dropat će još nekoliko puta, ali... Pobi ima TP. Duše, Miki i Spellbook. Možda sviče na TP ovaj flash, ne? Ostavit će ga.
They get Adacon in a game that looks so dire.
Why do top laners complain about playing this champ? And mid lane single-handedly carries the game.
Mid laner's better.
You cannot convince me this is the Ornn of 2025. He is the assassin. He is the playmaker. He is the bard, the mage. He is everything.
And you know, Locke is really quite weak individually, and we've seen Fnatic really try and set this ambassador behind. It's a quite good success actually, but it takes so long to kill him with the redemption involved as well, that Fnatic overstay, and then the really powerful members of GX turn the tables.
Yeah, the TP coming through off the Alistar as well, thanks to that Unsealed Spellbook, means that they're able to follow up. And it's just been such a wondrous turnaround from Giant X, and now, with a 1.5k gold lead, they set their sights on the Dragon. Poby looking for the flank.
26 flowers ahead as well. They're just so much more powerful. Again, most of the money
Ovo je bitno sad. Ja ne znam da li baš u Isma dobar redemption sad, to će malo da spasi situaciju. Ali hoće na poziciji igrača Fnatica. No. Bravo, June, nema veze. Džabe, absolutely full HP. Huge.
Giant X are trying to play whack-a-mole, and Upset is just dodging everywhere, making sure it's impossible to
Huge.
Fnatic je živi, da. Nemaju smite. Ovo je Drake za Giants ako daju Ismi da uđe.
A ne verujem, samo Oscar treba da ga chase down, I guess. To je to gra. Čisto. Bitno je da Fnatic igra čisto, znaš, realno.
Istina.
Nisi mi ti rekao da se Hexploit igra na Vayne isto u posljednje vreme, ali tako?
Moguće, mislim može da se igra, da.
Da li je buffovan, šta?
Jeste, da, ozbiljan buff.
Još nekome mi se čini da si mi rekao.
Morde,
bravo, jeste. Onda si mi pričao o Hexploitu baš u programu. Hexploit Morde, bože. Ne, Razork igra predobro ovaj game. Malo neke odlukice nisu bile možda najsjajnije ikada, ali igra baš dobro.
Giant X need to find a way to protect him, at the same time dealing with Upset. But with 2 items now onto the Vayne, he is really starting to come online. And that gold lead that we were just praising Giant X for is just disintegrated.
And it's essentially, I would guess, dead even in terms of effective stats. 3 Drakes to the extra flowers. Yes, there's some extra XP on the side of GX, but it's mostly making up for lots early deficits. But again, if we go into another fight like that, if GX cannot rally and find, I think, a cleaner front to back or an angle to pick Upset off before a fight, it's hard to see how they'll get this done.
It really has to be about trying to set up the battle lines well in advance. I think GX, they indexed too hard into
3,5 minuta do sola i dalje je Fnatic fine, mislim even je game, ali Fnatic zbog kompa je samo u boljoj poziciji. Sve dok kažem Upset ne izinta. Znači Upsetu prioritet mora da bude da ostane u životu.
Apsolutno. I oni treba da biju tako da ne forsiraju Upseta da dođu u lošu poziciju. Znači da biju polako. Zato je rekao kolega Caster da je front to back sa Vayne igrati dosta teško.
Ok, Sivir ult, sve na Razorka. Razork nema flash. Okay, predomislili se.
It's also important to know when to push on the brakes. But I think this is what you have to do as Giant X. It's use again. Noah has push advantage just because of the base kit of this Sivir. And they need to use that to try and put pressure onto sides, deny no access to this tier 2. And Poby had to reset because of that pressure that was coming through. So Fnatic now again on the back foot, and GiantX using this as this jump pad into the Fnatic base to try and look for picks, try and look for small advantages while Fnatic are scattered.
And while Fnatic did a great job of evening the gold up, while Soul Point is an excellent position to be in, this GX composition, if they get a Baron, is pretty impossible for them to play against. Super short range. No traditional heavy wave clear. Yes, Rise can clear waves, but he has to get close, which is often tricky. You're against a Nidalee and a Sivir together. The siege from GX is
Ovo je dobar take bio od Kastera što je rekao da je Giantsi ako dobiju Barona, ekipa Fnatica jako teško to kontesta jer su short range, a oni imaju dobar siege jer imaju dva long range i long range gauge. Meni se zapravo baš dopada.
To je true. Jedino što mene brine je što Fnatic misli da može samo da forsira all-in svakako. Ako uzmu Soul, samo se biju all-in protiv Barona i da verovatno dalje dobijaju. Imaš Jarvan ult, not ult, da forsiraš engage i Vayne koja je samo run down na front to back. U toj situaciji jedina stvar koju Vayne brine jeste Ambessa ulti. Ništa drugo ne bi ni smelo te pogodi random. Samo na movement. Kao Ambessa ulti je nešto što moraš da budeš spreman da flashaš ako si već tumblovo. Ne znam, ja kad vidim ovo, ja sam u fazonu. Ako Sivir ne šuta Vayne, pa ima ugao sad, znači pogledamo iteme Sivir. 3 itema sa Infinity, 70% krita. Vayne umire od 2 basika, ali Terminus jakšo, kraj partije. Mislim kraj, nije kraj, ali ima tu uglova, da. Onda na Terminus jakšo, no mora da ima LDRBT. Tako malo ide u krug, se tradaju.
Mene više brine što mora, ja mislim da mora da se fokusira da se bije kada June ima flash, da flash Q-a Vayne. Jer je to jedini način kako ti catchuješ Vayne. Nema drugog CC-a koji nju tako lako catchuje.
To je istina. To je jedino što će teško reagovati.
Tako je. Jer treba uvek kada se kolapsuje na te mobilne heroje, uvek treba dati im benefit of the doubt da će reagovati najbolje što može.
An oopsie from Noah to stray too far forward there.
Especially with 20 seconds till Dragon, taking that chunk means, well, he doesn't have that much lifesteal, has a little bit from his Bloodline and the D-Blade, of course. Gonna give up a little bit of control mid here now.
Combo into Oscar, just trying to chunk, but again, the healing is just massive. Only grievous wounds on the team is on Jackie's. Oh, Isma. Going golden. They're still gonna look for the knock-up, though. Knock-up there.
Ovaj fight može bude ključan, nismo Elba pa. Evo ga flashku na Vayne, ali džabe, no nema follow-up, ovo može... A ne može baš game da bude, ali ovo je Baron i Soul i ovo je GG, da, ovo je GG.
Čekaj lot stani.
Ma kak je lotovi bre, nema toga ništa. Samo Razor mora da preživi zbog smajta i Oscar je nebitan, svi su nebitni. Ma nebitno je uopšte.
Iskreno, kako ovo izgleda, Casey Fnatic će biti jako fan serija.
These team fights constantly putting threat onto Noah. It'll net them the Dragon and the Soul. Alongside all the kills, as Isma sees someone jumping at him, immediately goes golden. I wonder whether he should have just immediately flashed out. Going golden in that location makes it so hard to rally around him. And this big damage threat that the Nidalee actually does need to beat is immediately off the board.
Isma has been so good for a GiantX this split, but that was a massive mistake. With a Scion, with an Alistair, there's no need for you to be the one face-checking a Fnatic pounce, and in the battle of kill the Yeti carries, it's Fnatic who are continuously coming out on top.
Wait, as we go back into live, there's a bit of a desperation Baron coming through from GX.
Ovo je već desperation, baš to, desperate call. Evo ga Terminus i Plot Armor, sada i Ruby Crystal. Tačno je znao da mu samo treba defensive fragmenti. Razor ulazi ovo je 50-50 i to neki bezobrazan 50-50 koji dobija dva. Razor. Doduše Noah ima free DPS. Ovo je loše, dobro.
Na kraju još ispalo, okej.
Bilo je dobar play by play sad uradi.
Istina, malo loše, malo dobro, nikad nećemo završa.
Bilo je tu negdje. Nice, Fnatic zapravo smurfuje. Mislim da on ima da rola TP.
And just what a game. What? Never mind. There might be room for one more nail in this coffin. Or one more game. If GX came out the comeback, but again we saw how
Vrlo zanimljivo. Ali evo, da pogledamo opet. Mislim, ovo su svi ti klasični desperate playevi, oni pokušavaju da završe. Kako je Oskar lepo engageovao na Sivir moment kad je Yuri ulti od Nautilusa. Ona mora da back-offuje. Ovaj play je bio vrlo gust, ali... Da, jesi vidio kako je inputovo invisibility u Q?
Da.
To je zapravo bilo ključno. Iako se odbijao rikošet od njega, nije ovaj mogao da ga dovrši.
Interesantno je što je, mislim, on je 3-3-8, on nije... Nije toliko ahead, nema nikakvih ekstra resursa, samo je Ving igao dobar pik ovde.
I ja iskreno mislim da, ovo sad više gledam kroz solo queue, čini mi se da je meta toliko izbalansirana da je Vayne stvarno viable, kao svi pikovi su viable.
Pa da, mislim...
Ja baš sam pričao sa drugarom pre nekih dan, da mislim da poslednjih godinu dana Riot ima ekstremno stabilnu metu. Sada, jednako stabilna koliko je bila prošlo leto. Prošlo leto isto, vrlo stabilna meta. Nema nikakvih anomalija.
Samo ću nešto reći. Znači, Freak je postao glavni odgovoran za balans i nakon godinu dana LoL nikad balansiraniji. Samo to želim da kažem. Trebuje me malo da ispravi krive drine, ali realno gledano vidi. Vidi. Freak je uradio posao. Što je način ne samo tu. I TFT je nikad bolji zadnja dva splita, znam da Freak nema veze s tim, ali kad pogledaš kao generalno balans tim, TFT nikad balansiraniji, LoL nikad balansiraniji. Evo sad gledam tu XKO i to se ljudima mnogo sviđa, baš je ogroman hype za igricu. Još malo izlazi ranked, tako da bit će turbo fun. Tako da svaka čast Riot, ozbiljna priča.
Ali stvarno meta je, ja mislim da su morali to da urade, kada uvodiš Fearless u pro play, ti ljudi znači da napraviš metu da ima ogroman pool heroja, tebi treba da bude 100 od 150 heroja playable. I sad evo, ja sad kad razmišljam ne postoji heroj koji nije playable u pro playu. Evo sad ih listam. Bobby! Flashovati flash Q od Alistara, bravo majstore. Joj. Respekt za playu Caster, lepo otkastovo. Ovo može da i dalje da bude game. Kako apsent čeka.
Lepo, lepo, flag drag flash, lepo, lepo, lepo.
Bravo! Trudi se lot na ovoj ambesi, ali... Ima port Miki i on će da ih joine sad.
Nema, pa mrtav je Noah, nema ko dubije Vayne.
Gotovi su.
To je to. Okej, 3-0, brz dan.
Kako su lepo odradili, kad sam ja rekao da smo gotovi, kolega?
Pa tu smo negde, pola 8, ne?
Ja sam rekao 15 do 8.
A to je intervju i taman.
Tako je.
Lagana priča.
Fanatik, kako si rekao, ide na Megan KC-u za spot na Vrlcu naredne nedelje, to je za 2 nedelje.
Tako je, za 2 nedelje to će biti, ako se ne varam...
Subota ona tamo.
Ja mislim da je možda petak će biti, tako je. Znači petak 26. gledamo Fanatik protiv KC-a, duel za Worlds, nakon toga pobednik tog meča ide pravo na Mad Lions Koi, a pobednik toga ide na G2 u velikom finalu, sve će to biti u Lanu u Madridu, tako da vidjet ćemo jeli taj Koi buff. Vidjet ćemo šta će se događati svako, dosta će biti uzbudljivo, bilo kako bilo, mi čekamo intervju nakon koga gasimo program, streama će biti malo kasnije, vidjet ćemo šta ćemo igrati, ali svakako se družimo za nekih 2 sata otprilike, ali mi se čujemo i vidimo uskoro. Možda i igramo neki tu XKO do kad se vidimo.
Idealno.
To je ako do večeras ne dobiješ kod, ti imaš kod od mene večeras, tako da to je najmanji problem.
Kako sad to?
Pa ja, nisi pročitao moju poruku do kraja, ali nema veze, sve je okej. Ništa, čujemo se Mirale svako, pišem ti ja na Discordu. Čujemo kasnije.
Ajde, čujemo se, kolege, ćao.
Ljudi moji, to je bilo to. Još jednom, uživajte, ko nije postao Patreon. Šta radite s vašim životom, ljudi moji, postao Patreon odmah? Garantovano 6 godina, 1% više sreće nego juče i to je to, znam, to sam objasnio ja, Kevine. Uglavnom, to je bilo to, ljudi moji, tako da budite mi dobri, vidimo se kasnije, uživajte intervju i to je to.
Now figure out how to play against Fnatic, right? Because it feels like they've started to figure out exactly what their focal points want to be. It's still kind of play around upset, but if you're shoring up things in the top side, Poby really starting to fit in now, not only with how he plays individually, but syncing up with map plays, finding those moments where he can try and lead into side lanes. It feels like Fnatic have kind of figured out the formula that they want.
See if that formula is enough as we get ready for Madrid, but in the meantime, let's send it over to Lar and the victorious Razork. Lord, why did I say Lar? Oh, I'm so sorry.
How dare you butcher my name like this, Dracos? Thank you so much for joining us on stage for the Marion Van Voy post-game check-in with Razork. Thank you so much, Melvin. That was quick. That was very unusual of you guys. Only some misplays in game 1, but after that, everything was super clean. What happened between game 1 and the rest of the series?
Well, I mean, I think game 1 we should have lost. I think Giants mega choked it, honestly. But yeah, we made a lot of mistakes and then it was hard to play. We need to get our combos with the Nocturne, Rakan, but they were actually reacting pretty well to it. And game 2 and 3, I think we had better draft. We were very comfortable with our champions and we just took over the game with Drakes. I felt like we got sold all 3 games, so it was pretty chill.
Yeah, did you expect to 3-0, or at least if not 3-0, that the series would be that easy, given the preparation you had?
No, for sure I didn't expect that it was going to be a 3-0. I think from our practice, we were kind of beating or almost beating every team, but I think Giants was the one that was the hardest for us. Like, I think we were suffering a lot versus them. So I was coming in today with the expectations that this was going to be a tough series. Yeah, I mean, after we won the game 1, probably they like collapsed.
Yeah.
I would have been mega tilted too, but yeah, they didn't bounce back on the game 2 and 3, and I think we played pretty solid at the games.
Yeah, that is a mental break here, and you guys took the best of it, honestly. When I think of Fnatic, you came back this summer with a change within the team, replacing mid lane, which is not an easy role. Gets even worse when it's an import, but you guys handled it so well. And you were talking through so many interviews, we've talked about this on stage, the fact that Poby brought new vibes. Replacing a player brought new vibes. So one split down on the way to Madrid, how do you reflect on the improvements from Fnatic with this change in mid lane?
Yeah, I mean, I think for sure we are improving a lot. I think one main difference that it's from the last split, I feel like we didn't take the Koi loss too hard. I feel like we would have been a bit mental after that loss, but I feel like this week we still practiced very well and everyone was like still very motivated and hungry to make 2 Worlds. Now we're in Madrid. I'm very happy for that. So, yeah, I mean, I think Poby is part of it, but I think the whole mentality of the team has changed.
Absolutely. It's a team effort in the end. Before we talk about Madrid, which I assume you're very, very happy about, you've mentioned in a Sheep Esports interview 3 days ago, actually, that in the past, you used to be really affected by fans flaming you and fans' reactions, and then you stopped caring or found a way to stop caring, and I feel like a lot of players struggle with this. How did you make it happen? How did you switch your mentality to finally block the noise?
I mean, I feel like you just get used to it. You just like play for a few years in competitive. You realize that the same people that love you 1 week, they can like hate on you the next one. And I feel like the true fans will support you all the time. And I think in Fnatic it's like...
Thank you, Fnatic fans.
I feel like in Fnatic we have a lot of fans, and 95% are very supportive.
This is just a glimpse of what you're going to have in Madrid next week. A lot of Fnatic fans, a lot of Spanish fans as well. What are you looking forward to the most?
I mean, honestly, when we went to the road trip in Madrid, playing against Koi, it was the most amazing moment ever. Even though we lost, like the whole stadium was with so much energy, and I'm looking forward to do the same. This time against KC, so I'm expecting like more fans from our side there. But I think it's going to be a really amazing experience.
Absolutely. And yeah, guys, you're going to have to be loud in Madrid for this guy. Give him the best day possible. Now, do you have